back to the bottom, 6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slowed down, hop these curves up and over. There's that cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over. Down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to SimTV. My name is Kyle Heyer alongside Finian D'Acuna, and this week we're doing round number 3 of the 2019 RaceKings Cup Series for the 3WideRacing League, and this time we're in Avondale, Arizona, at the 1-mile flat oval known as Phoenix Raceway. Finian, this racetrack in this form is definitely different than what we're used to seeing, and this is the older 2008 version of Phoenix without the cuttable, I guess I'll say it that way, the dog leg on the back straightaway. There's a bunch of grass out there tonight. That's going to change how the complexion of this race goes tonight. With over 34 drivers registered to race this one, it's going to be crowded out there for sure.
Yeah, there's something interesting because I imagine a lot of these drivers probably haven't driven Phoenix, with this version of Phoenix, for years. And I mean, because there hasn't really been much of a reason to, but to shake things up, the 3-wide guys decided to throw this on the schedule instead of the newer Phoenix, and I think it's going to be definitely interesting because we've gotten really used and really comfortable with guys just being able to cut that dog leg every single lap and do all sorts of things, but now they don't have that as a passing opportunity, so they have to resort to the corners themselves to make their passes.
It's certainly going to change how we race this track this evening. Probably less grip out there as well with the older surface, a bumpier surface indeed. Probably not as many, I mean, I think Phoenix has always been line sensitive, Finian, but I think with the new one you could probably get away with running more lines than you can here. I think tonight you've got to be a one-trick pony to really stick around that bottom of the racetrack to make speed. You could probably try the middle to high in turns 3 and 4 if you get really creative, but right now qualifying almost complete, and David Wilson and Chad Fragenfield at the top of the board, and Tate Lytle in the 56 sitting in 3rd right now. There's Johnny Thomas. He comes across the line. Does he advance? Looks like he's going to stay 18th for now.
Yeah, I'm pretty close on the time sheets too, especially our top 4 all within a 1/10 of a second, so looking forward to this. Especially great job by David Wilson, who currently holds the provisional pole. It looks like he might stay there.
I think he's going to hang on to it, Finian, as we have 10 seconds remaining, and I don't think Brandon Kluserus or Carlos Acosta are going to be able to steal it away. Yeah. I do want to bring your attention to the 14th place driver, and that's Liam Sheen. He led both practices here earlier this week, and he could honestly be a threat to win this thing. We'll have to see how the race goes, but he's been quick in practice. Now, it doesn't always translate to the race, but it can, and we've seen that happen in the past. So we'll get gridded up and ready to go racing tonight. Here's a look at our track conditions. 84 degrees in the air, 99 on the track, Finny. That's pretty cool for Arizona. So I'd say tonight we're looking like it's going to be pretty quick out there for 200 laps around the, what do they call this place? The Valley of the Sun.
Yeah, and actually just shot up to 100, but you can see it's 100, but we're casting shade here, so that just kind of gives you an idea of how hot it is at this track.
So after 200 laps, whoever's at the top of that podium is going to be in victory lane. And Finian, right now, the point standings haven't really been too exciting so far. We're only 2 races into the season, so we'll update you on those probably next week. We'll get a better idea of the points picture. But what I can tell you is that Luis Almaso is doing really well so far. But tonight, that number 4 driver, I don't think he qualified, so he'll have to start way towards the rear.
And neither did Matt Grunberg. He also didn't put a qualifying time down. He's going to be starting somewhere from 28th on back.
Tonight, 200 laps like we mentioned. This version of the racetrack is also a lot narrower, so your racing line is brought down. We have over 34 cars here tonight. Congestion going to be the name of the game this evening. How do you keep yourself from running into people early? It's a relatively long race, almost an hour and a half when we go green to the end. So, patience tonight?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely going to require a lot of patience. It's a lot of laps on the schedule for these guys here, so it's going to be a long race up ahead. You guys need to be pretty cool, calm, and collected and just kind of get through this race.
Take one more quick look at the track map here again. About 1 mile in length, so it's about a 200-mile race here this evening. 4 corners, of course. You could argue there's 5, but pit road here, Finian, a nice slow speed, about 40 miles an hour, so get yourself slowed on down. Pit road entry here, thankfully, one of the easier ones when you compare it to last week at Vegas, so we shouldn't see a whole lot of pit road issues this evening.
Yeah, the only thing I could potentially see an issue with is pit road exit. That's because it blends right up into the racing line. You don't have the dogleg where you can just cut. You can see here, guys are going to be merging straight on the left side of the track, right where people are going to be apexing the dogleg. So that could potentially be an issue, although I kind of doubt it. I think we should get offline.
I also want to bring your attention to that. It's a little bit difficult to see. Maybe we could go from up above. You see on the far left-hand side of your screen where that dogleg is, right after the road course exit, there's that big yellow rumble strip there, Finny. And before that, there's a blue and white one. That's the apex curbing for the road course. That is a tall curb. If you try to cut that just a little bit too much, you're going to slam into that thing and launch yourself in the air. So be careful is all I can say in regards to the back straightaway. It's not the current dogleg, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have its quirks and features, as Doug DeMuro would say.
Yeah, and I mean, and also we might see potentially a wreck coming off, but two guys can be sliding through there, and some guy jumping the curb and causing a wreck. So that's also something to potentially look forward to.
So last night we raced at Watkins Glen with the trucks and saw a pretty entertaining race there. Lots of issues for a lot of drivers, but it was the 38 driver that came through and won that thing last night, and not here this evening. I don't believe he races over on the cup. Actually, does he race on the cup side of things? Like who's here tonight?
Yeah, I don't think.
So coming off the final corner, and we're going to be going for 200 laps. Green flag flies, and we're racing in Phoenix.
And Wilson with a fantastic start on the outside lane to the outside for the start. You see Frankenville following through, as well as the 5 same close.
And again, a big field of cars down here, Finney. You don't want to get yourself into trouble early. There's Frankenfield in that second spot right now, trying to defend from Sam Close in the 5. Levi Zielinski there as well. Here comes Tate Lytle in the 56 to the inside of Zielinski. But let's look back here. Whoa, we're a couple cars wide. In turns 3 and 4, it's McKeeboy in the middle of it. Brent Miller on the outside. There's the 83 of Johnny Thomas, who started 18th, right behind some chaos. There's the 51 of Liam Sheen, making some moves on the inside. It's complete lap number 1.
These guys are happy. They have all the downforce in the world. They can just swerve throughout the corners and on the straightaways but without worrying too much.
Already Justin Kolb 1 lap down to that number 52, starting from the pits. Behind, you see Close and Frankenfield getting really close together, almost contact there, but the battle for now is behind them. But now here comes the 5 of Sam Close. Couldn't quite get the run he needed, though, to get that spot. So now Zielinski and Lytle fight for 4th in turn 1.
Chevy, Ford, Toyota, your top 3 right there, different manufacturers, as well as Zielinski and Tate Lytle. So a lot of diversity, a lot of different teams up inside the top 5 at the moment.
But heading back to the midfield, look at this fight here, Fenny. There's about 15 cars all right on top of each other. Can't even tell. That's the 2 of Richard Hines on the inside of McKeeboy trying to wrestle a spot away.
Yeah, guys doing a great job getting themselves somewhat sorted out, as they're also still fighting very hard for position here.
There's that Jegs car peeking from the background. That is the 54 Matt Gruenberg, and he's stuck behind Kyle Hanshaw right now. Both these drivers have a pretty decent start to the year. You look up ahead, and there's a loose car. That is the 64. I believe it's the 64. Yes, it is. Scored as the 91 on the monitor. That is Austin Derbyshire. He should be scored as the 64. He's not. I updated that, but you see. There is Johnny Thomas and Frank Sims fighting for 15th place. So Thomas is already moving his way up through the field. Look at this. There's such a big gaggle of cars. It's going to take about 20, 30 laps for this to get completely sorted out.
Yeah, definitely, especially guys. I mean, really showing that you can use quite a bit of the racetrack. It's not just a single line.
I thought it would be a single line. Frank Sims up in the fence in turns 3 and 4, and the field's going to try to scatter to get around him.
Yeah, that's good. That's a lot of damage to his car. He might have to come in and fix that.
Yeah, he just got loose up into the corner and just tank slapped the wall. We'll get one more good look at that.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised he got loose. Just sent it in a little bit too hard, gassed it up maybe a little too early.
He had a good drift, but just caught it too much and just basically pounded the fence with the right rear of that car.
And I was just about to say too, because I think with the more grip and downforce these guys have, they're really able to use a lot more lines than you saying you were expecting. And it's really putting on some fantastic racing right now.
And we really didn't know what to expect. Oh, contact! The 89 of Brent Miller hits the 4 of Luis Almaso's car, heads up the racetrack, and there's a traffic jam behind him. Here comes Matt Gruenberg in the 54. He started all the way back in 29th. He's moved up 5 spots already and just trying to find a gap through the field to make up some more ground.
Oh, and the 89 loose. Oh, Miller's still loose on the bottom.
Miller's really struggling right now after that contact earlier in the lap. Now he's holding up. That's the 94 Klusterhuis. Klusterhuis has pretty much stayed exactly where he started. He's loose on entry, though. There's Wade Lear to the outside. They're at a pretty long night last night at Watkins Glen, looking to turn things around down here on the West Coast. I guess about as close to the coast as we have gotten so far.
Yeah, and I imagine that you also want But you're seeing these guys breaking loose just a little bit because the temperatures, as we saw earlier in the race, are relatively high. So once you start sliding on those tires, the tire is going to start getting hot. You're on a hot track. You're going to be sliding around quite a bit.
Nathan Velez and Tanner Sharp fighting for a spot. That got close out of turn number 2. We're only 10 laps into this thing, Finian. Looks like we're about to finish it out with how hard these guys are racing. I'm amazed we haven't seen more incidents yet. Here's Chad Frankenfield and Kevin Finn going at it, and both these drivers had a good night last night at the Glen.
And so far, no car-to-car incidents, really just minor incidents, incidents.
Oh, just give it
so
a couple
far.
laps.
Yeah, so far in this race, guys, keeping it relatively contained. There you see a 63 car on the outside of McKeeboy, and you got Paul Ross in the 18 right behind him.
On the back straightaway now, Paul Ross. Uncharacteristic of him to be this far back in the field, 16th here early, but he's already moved up 5 spots, so it looks like he's got some speed in that race car. Just needs a couple laps to get under his belt and climb his way forward.
Yeah, I mean, again, these guys got quite a bit of a race ahead. If we go green, and so far it seems like it might go that way. Most of the field relatively sorted out. Still some guys
Look how
duking out
close everybody is. I mean, everyone's within a half a lap of each other right now. We head back up towards the lead. David Wilson's led every lap so far. Sam Close is trying to close that gap, and Levi Zielinski's right with him.
Yeah, and he's actually making up quite a bit of time. He's closing in on Wilson, and Zielinski also keeping in tow. So the top 3 all kind of close together. Everyone else, for the most part, spread out.
Great battles all over the racetrack. We're trying to take you to the best ones. And right now, that's Frankenfield and Tate Lyle going for 5th.
Frankenfield trying to roll that outside lane, get the run off the corner.
Down into turn number 3. You can really sail it off in here. There's not as much apron, though, as there is in the newer version of the racetrack, so you have to keep that in mind. And Frankenfield slipped another spot.
Yeah, that too also you have to keep in mind a lot of the bumps on the track, because the newer Phoenix is pretty much completely new, so there's almost no bumps on the track here. There's quite a few in some of the corners, but you got to be careful. You got to make sure you did your homework and practice quite a bit, because if you hit a bump, some of these bumps in the wrong way, you can easily send your car out of control.
Jonathan Cogswell in the 27. If I recall correctly, he's had a pretty rough start to the season in that number 27 machine, at least. Yeah, actually, I think he crashed out both Daytona and Vegas. So trying to turn things around this week, running inside the top 10 early here at Phoenix. As we look back, there's Paul Ross up to 16th. He's been stuck there for a couple laps, but Johnny Thomas, he's up 5 spots, and he started 18th in that number 83, so he's clawing his way forward, but Tanner Sharp has some work to do to hold him off. And we talked to last week at Vegas. Whoa! Tanner Sharp slips, and I think he's spun out. Yes, he is.
Oh, yeah.
And that's that curb I was talking about.
Mounted that. Did a little bit of rally cross right there, and he's going to get going again, but currently still trying to get back up to speed.
So here is another look at this when I can find the correct driver, number 3 of Tanner Sharp. So this is about a half a lap prior. We're going to get down to turn number 1, and I'm not really sure if anything leads this thing. He just spins the tires on corner exit.
Yeah, I think he just gets loose up corner. He starts to angle a little bit to the left, and there he goes, off for a spin, locks it down.
And tries to get it back on the course. He just has to suffer over that curb, and he's lucky if he doesn't have some suspension damage after that.
What for the most part seems to be fine. We'll see him. Now we're going to probably be watching him climb up through the order for the rest of the night. So he's going to be hoping for a caution.
Oh boy, that got close. Paul Ross, Mike Stevens, quarter panel to quarter panel. As they get down to turn number 1, Ross is going to take that spot away and try to bring the Keyboy through with him.
Not quite, though. Stevens got a decent run off the corner, but I think Paul Ross might have him here in 3.
And he does, so move Paul Ross up to 13th place.
Yeah, now McKeeboy looking to the inside of Stevens.
Battle for the lead. David Wilson and Sam Close separated by 0.2 of a second. That 5 car is coming.
He's starting to reel in that gap. We saw these guys closing in here. They're even closer. And actually, even Zielinski, too, has really appeared in this picture. He actually might overtake Sam Close before Close gets to Wilson.
These two have been pretty much with each other since the start of the race. Look at Zielinski's line way up the racetrack, and I'm wrong, Fiddy. I thought we were going to be seeing a single groove racetrack tonight. But the more downforce you have, it looks like you can experiment a bit. And I think it almost might be necessary to get yourself out of the aero shadow. We talked about dirty air being important to avoid, but you wouldn't think it'd affect you at a place like Phoenix. Yeah. But from what we've seen at most racetracks, it is a problem.
Yeah, indeed it is. I don't think it might be as much of a problem here. I think because I was surprised at how close guys were, so it might not be as big of a problem. You definitely want to still get out of it as much as you can, but yeah, Zielinski trying to run in the high line at the moment. I think he's going to take a while for that group to come in once he gets some rubber up there.
Close trying to reel in David Wilson right now. He's been stuck about 0.2 behind, but there's a good run out of turn number 2, and now he's putting the pressure on that 39.
And he's looking to the outside. I imagine that's where a lot of the passes are going to come. Here we see Close work the outside. Wilson got the advantage on the bottom.
Try to carry that speed up there. He's going to throttle it down around the outside. Here comes Sam Close, the 3OG racing car. He'll lead that lap as we have a caution, and it's a big wreck towards the turn 3 area. And that's just a huge pileup down there, Finian. The whole field has to come to a complete and utter stop to avoid getting in this one. That was probably 6, 7, 8, maybe 10 cars.
Yeah, that was a big wreck right there in that corner. Several cars involved. Groomer somehow got through there.
That was a big mess down there. Tanner Sharp looks like he got through. Oh, the 64 machine of Austin Derbyshire. That car is destroyed.
Miller also got some damage to his right front.
Okay, let's go back and digest this one. That was a pretty big incident. We have to find where it started. I see the 27 in there. He was running P10 a couple laps before. He had slipped to 19.
I think this might be where it started. Just Paul Ross
Actually,
behind.
This is where he was. He was P10. And he gets off in here, and Paul Ross just clobbers the 27. And this is where they just all fly in here. Look at Acosta get through there. And then Kyle Hanshaw almost got through without incident, but everyone had to come to a complete stop. What happened?
I'm not sure what happened to Paul Ross there. That
He just drove right into him. I don't know.
almost looked intentional.
It almost did. I mean, that's not even close. And you don't see Paul Ross make mistakes like that.
Yeah,
So that's just what I'm questioning.
And I can't imagine it's intentional too, because I don't think he got he was never near Cogswell before that, because
Right.
Cogswell was in front of him. So
yeah, I mean, it couldn't have been anything from this race.
maybe just sent it a little bit too hard.
I mean, that's a big. Paul Ross is a great race car driver. A misjudgment like that is rare. But here's a look from on board Rusty Webb. Nowhere to go here, Finian. He locked it down and actually did a really good job missing it. I also want to go on board Carlos Acosta's machine. Yeah. He really did a good job getting through. Wow. Here's a look. See him get together, and he just goes for this gap and commits to it. Wow. And then watch the field behind.
It did a great job there. Got lucky on his pick. Also, we want to ride on board with the 630 Mike Stevens. He had a very interesting view of that.
I think Stevens and the 54 Groombert kind of had a similar experience down through here. He's actually spun to miss it and did it. And Groombert right through the grass. And there's the two of Richard Hines getting through as well. Junkyard behind. Giadricic also, I think, was able to miss it by that much. Here's a look at his onboard.
Yeah, got a little bit of damage to his door, but boy, most of it.
Oh, the 21 of McKee coming down the racetrack. But a big pilot, Klusterhuis, got through. But some other drivers not so lucky. So a big crash on lap number 20. And pit stops have been completed by the majority of the field. Here's a look at your current running order. Sam Close comes out your leader.
Interesting, it shows Chad Frankenfield did not come down a pit road.
I mean, could have been one of those drive-on through things, but I don't know. Either way, let's take a look. Showing that Frankenfield is showing here that he has come in. So I'm not sure why our other graphics are not showing that.
And yeah, I would imagine he would have pit.
Well, this shows that he did. Okay, well, caution is coming to an end here. 1 lap to green, and on the restart, I think we're going to see more of the same chaos that we saw in the opening 20 laps. Patience, I mean, have we been too aggressive so far? I think we've seen some pretty exciting action. That incident was a strange one.
Yeah, the incident was a strange one. I would say the aggression's been pretty low. Guys have been giving each other some decent amount of room. Nothing really too crazy. That was just kind of a weird anomaly there. I'm
Sam Close. Okay.
Yeah, and Close flashing in and out there. But yeah, so I think you can get a solid green flag run again. And it really just depends if guys decide to be a little bit too aggressive on this next run.
This is the digger cam down in turns 1 and 2. We're going to use this later tonight, and I hope that the camera is still intact after what we've seen down there in turn number 1. Drivers all over the place. Turn 3 and 4, though, seems to be where we're going to have the most trouble with drivers trying to take so many different lines and carry such different speeds. But lap number 24, we're going to try coming back to the restart. Still a long way to go in this one. Sam Close on the outside, your leader. Green flag flies, racing again here in Phoenix.
See you guys battling for position. Almost 3 wide back here. You see Frank Sim with his damaged car, but Sam Close is going to maintain the lead. And Kevin Finn up in the 2nd place.
Finn had a great night last night, finished on the podium at Watkins Glen. And he's going to rocket to 2nd. And it looks like David Wilson's really struggling on this restart to get up to speed. There's Frank Sims, who got in the wall early, trying to recover from that incident. He'll head back up. The big gaggle of race cars with Frankenfield and Wilson fighting. How about Johnny Thomas working his way to the inside? There's Carlos Costa, who made his way through that wreck, battling now for 11th alongside Tate Lytle.
And Hickey also trying to fight to the inside, but it looks like Acosta's going to win out on that position for now. That one car still trying to fight on that inside, but yeah, you see these guys pretty much doing the same thing we saw on the last restart. There you see, Gruenberg in the 54 going to the inside of Salmaso. He's going to try to muscle his way on by, maybe even trying to take Acosta.
Oh, Acosta, late move there to the inside, but he got there in time to make it. He pulls on down and...
but he's not going to get the run off the exit.
Car the fence up the road. Oh, Frankenfield! No! Whoa. Upside down in front of the field and over the top of Matt Gruenberg. And the whole field tangles behind him.
Holy, wow, I have never seen that before.
That car tumbled like a toy. Wow. That took out the field.
And there you see Acosta, his car is torn up. Frankfield's car is actually still running without any apparent engine damage.
Wow, I have never seen anything like that in my year and a half of commentating. He was already loose coming out of turn 2. The Liam Sheen got into 0-0, and then the 15 what? Wow. Oh my goodness. On top of Johnny Thomas.
Yeah, Gruenberg looked like he actually lucked through there. I think he got through echoed.
Okay, we have to go back a bit more to find out where this started. And it started for
I think it started with Frankenfield. It looked like he got loose on the bottom, and that checked up everyone else.
Hold on, I gotta get a better look at this here. So here's the 15 to the inside of Corey Lindsay. Now Liam Sheen. There's contact with Corey Lindsay. Then Liam Sheen shoots the gap. The 15 slips up. Sheen just doors the 0-0, and that's where this all starts. And wow, what a ride the 15 car took. Over the top of 2 cars.
Richard Hines also involved
Carlos
there.
Acosta as well. Johnny Thomas had a car on top of him. And do the Ryan Newman music here. This is a wild one. Watch on board.
He got some air.
Wow.
Got a good look at the underside of Frankfield's car.
Now, Kevin Jadricic got through that. Yeah. I don't know how, but it was awesome, and we're going to go ahead and take you back and look at it. They're pitting right now, so they're jumping around. Okay, here we go. There's a look at it. And just watch this mess up here. And where do you go, Finney? He stomps on... Look at that car tumble. And he stomps on the brakes, and you just got to pray here. And right through the middle, the C's part, he goes on through.
Yeah, just follows Stevens on through. He's done a pretty good job of avoiding wrecks as well. You see Lytle. I don't know how he got back in the middle of all of that, but he was able to avoid that.
15 to Frankfield. I want to get an on board from his machine as he went for a tumble. If you could help me out. Thank you. I want to go on board the gyro cam here because I'm sadistic. Here's a look from on board the 15. Oh, boy. And the whole field, I mean, just a dozen cars involved in that one. Kyle Hanshaw slips on through, but a mess, to say the least, for our second caution. That's going to shake up the midfield a little bit, but now there's your running order once again. I think we've come down to pit road. All but the top 4 have come down for a second pit stop on the night, leaving Sam Close and Kevin Finn out up front.
And notably, 2 of the guys who made their second trip down on pit road, Gruenberg is leading that group of drivers. So remember, he started, if you can pull it up there on screen, he started
29th.
Yeah, so he's moved up quite a few spots here. Only 30 laps in, and still got a ways to go. So he's sitting in a good position.
Well, for a lot of drivers, Finney, and this is a really early end of the night, we're 29 laps in of 200. Just past the 10% mark, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers who have had significant incidents so far. You can add Dylan Hickey, that make that 10. A couple of drivers to note, Luis Salmaso, who is really high up on the point standings. I think he was second coming into the night. It's going to be a 32nd place finish, maybe even 33rd if Derbyshire continues for another couple laps.
Got only 24 cars on the lead lap after all those cars that you mentioned were involved in that, pretty much involved in the wreck and getting damage fixed. So we're getting these guys racked back up again and getting ready to go here, coming to lap 31.
We're going to re-rack him, restack him, and turn him loose again. And so far tonight, it's been eventful, to say the least. And so was Las Vegas. And again, a lot of these drivers, we talked last week, a lot of these drivers don't have experience running on this package. But again, it's just one thing, when they're running so close together, one little issue between 2 drivers compounds and gets 3, 5, 10 cars involved in a wreck that really don't need to be in it. It's not their fault. They're just caught up in a wreck that they could do nothing about. Green flag back in the air, and a stack up on the restart. Everyone on the inside's got to be careful, but looks like we're going to get through okay.
Yeah, Kevin, Finn, and Chad Brown with a poor start there, so Flo is easily going to be able to take the lead. How about already almost pretty much 3 wide there on the start? Liam Sheen looking to the outside.
Yeah, Liam Sheen is going to take no prisoners tonight. Was quick in practice, like we mentioned, was involved and was one of the causes of that last accident. They're trying to recover from a 17th place position right now. Up towards the front, though. Battle per second. 3 cars involved. It's Wilson, Finn, and Lytle. Actually, make that 4 and 5 cars. How about that? Levi Zielinski and Grunberg in the fight now.
Remember, Grunberg's leading the drivers with the fresh tires. We're leading the fresh tires.
Caution.
Overtook and caution back out of the air.
Costa down in turn number 1.
And that car is pretty much toast.
Yeah, that car is not going to make it very far. So our 3rd caution on the night in 32 laps, and wow, that car is destroyed.
Yeah, that car is definitely seen in better days.
Here's a look. Wow, this goes back about a half a lap. So let's look. Here's Acosta here with the 48 of Velez and the 21 of McKeevoy, and McKeevoy drives in really deep. What? All right, so here's the 24 coming off of the corner. The 21's going to shoot to the outside. Oh boy, that was a mess.
Late move on Acosta's part. They're trying to close the door on McKeevoy, but McKeevoy got such a good run off the corner.
Yeah, well, and the thing is you almost can't blame the 24 for that, just because he was clear, but that, I mean, the 21 was coming.
Yeah,
I
by
agree.
the time he made it, the door was closed.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's a car there.
But the other thing is, I mean, if you look at McKeevoy, I mean, granted, he probably should have been given the room, but if you look at McKeevoy back in turn number 3, he sails it off in here and almost looks like we saw with the 18 earlier, if I can just find him. But there's so many cars here tonight, it's hard to get people I want to look at. Here's McKeevoy. This is entering turn 3, and watch how deep he dives. Almost like he's trying to get to the bumper of the 24. He almost like sent it like he was going for him, and then, I mean, he didn't, but the 24 is at fault for this next incident, and I agree, but it's an interesting set of circumstances here. So caution out for the 3rd time. And we have a big shakeup strategy here, and it looks like Nick Miller is going to come on down to pit lane. Sam Close stays out, so I think we're going to have a couple takers. Richard Hines, Rusty Webb, Kyle Hanshaw, Stephen Kettman all come down. And early in the night, Finney, and the tempers are already, I can guarantee you, these helmets, they're steaming right now inside. I'm sure there's a lot of people discussing with their teams about how to approach this race, because I can guarantee you that very little of the field is happy with each other at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, we're also seeing incidents of cautions, reading caution. Had a pretty solid green flag run up until that one incident, and we've had a small string of cautions ever since then.
So 3 cautions so far in a total of 34 laps. We've had 10 caution laps. 1 lead change so far as Close has gotten around Wilson. We should get the 1 to green here this time, and we're not. We're going to go around another one. Take a look at the conditions here, Finian. The track temp, again, just like last night, I don't think it's a huge factor in... these guys have lots of grip. I think it's just they have too much grip that they're staying so close together that any car-to-car contact is making a mess.
Yeah, I think definitely you pretty much said it there. The fact that they're able to be so close together is, I think, a large contributor to really just a lot of wrecks on this new package in general, because I think, with the low downforce, guys are able to get separated a lot more and just kind of work around each other and get strung out. But with the downforce, you're able to draft off each other and just really send the car into the corners. And when these guys fight in such close proximity on these restarts, that's where we see a lot of these wrecks happen.
Does the configuration have anything to do with anything? I mean, I'm not sure.
I would say it honestly would be worse if we were at the newer one, because a lot of guys cutting that dog leg, you end up, typically when you cut the dog leg, you're going to be on the inside. To almost the extreme inside of the corner, and you barely have any room to turn by turn 3, and then you usually see guys go up the track into someone. So I would say it's better. I mean, we saw like on that green flag run, people were able to get strung out. I think it's just these cautions breeding cautions is what we're currently seeing at the moment.
So coming back to the green flag, lap number 37, Sam Close, David Wilson, Tate Lytle, Kevin Finn, Matt Grunberg, your top 5, and 2 Fords, 2 Toyotas, and a Chevrolet representing those 5 top spots at the moment. Relatively even manufacturer representation up towards the front. We get 3 racked, and are we surprised that the leaders have been taking the outside every time? I don't think I am.
No, I definitely don't think so. I think it's easier to arc that corner a lot better, heading off into 1 than being on that inside. I think and so far we've seen it play out pretty well. I'm interested in seeing maybe Wilson throw a wrench into things on the inside of St. Cloud, but Cloud's been getting some really good restarts.
Coming back to the green, we've had 3 yellows so far. We have about 164 laps to go. It's a long way, Finian. Coming back to the green, the 14, the 56 in row 2, but up front it's the 5 of Close and the 39 of David Wilson. Back racing here again at Phoenix.
Oh, and Zelensky with a move already to the outside of Kevin Finn there on the start. There you see Jadrich diving to the inside of Tanner Sharp.
Out of turn number 2, that battle for second heated, but Lytle's going to grab that spot away. It looks like Wilson's going to have to fend off Luke Zelensky in that outside lane as they make their way down to turn number 3.
Zelensky working the outside there, and as you look back, you see guys starting to fan out, trying to gain some position that they lost on that last caution.
Ooh, that was Corey Lindsay getting real close to the wall out of turn 4. There's the 11 of Wade Lear, the 83 of Johnny Thomas. He had a car on top of him. He's still running 14th. I'd say that's doing pretty good considering the circumstances.
He's also been in the middle of quite a few wrecks. He's also still running strong. Here comes Tate Lytle with a big charge on the 5 of St. Cloud.
Yeah, this 56 car is fast. He was quick last night at the Glen, just really didn't have the track position to be able to take advantage of his speed. Out of turn 4, look at the fight behind them. That's the 14 of Finn. He's dropped back on this restart, but the battle is for the lead, and they're making it pretty crazy right now.
Yeah, watch Lytle just drop half a lane, but lower than Close on the exit of the corner, just trying to get out of the arrow shadow of the 5. Let's see what he does in 3 and 4, and does the same thing.
Same thing. He's going to dive underneath the 5. He's going to try to get that quarter panel alongside, maybe try a side draft on the front straight, put the momentum on the outside too much. Sam Close will hang on to this lead, but the 14 of Finn is battling for his life right now on the inside of Grunberg, who, remember, started 29th. He's up 24 spots in that 54 in 40 laps. Great job there.
Yeah, also found the goal in Norwich, who's been able to work through and be in the right place in a lot of these wrecks here. Could have easily been caught up in quite a few of them.
Mike Stevens with a pretty torn up race car, but he's making things work so far tonight. There is Tanner Sharp, who was involved in an earlier collision, and there's Paul Ross, we saw pulling down off the racetrack to let some people by, and I'm not sure why that would be the case, but up towards the front again. I think we've got everybody sorted out, but Lytle still kind of dogging Sam Close for the lead.
Hasn't been able to find a way through, might have given up for the time being, maybe just trying to make sure he can set up a pass here.
You look back, Paul Rossi let a bunch of guys by. There's Liam Sheen all over Brent Miller to turn 3, and Sheen's going to scrape the wall in 3 and 4. Now he's going to try to use that momentum from the outside lane to get around the 83, and he'll get that lane there, but now the inside of turn 1, isn't that where you want to be?
In some cases, yes, but if Sheen can pinch the 83 down, he's going to get a nice run off the corner. You can see him trying to pull it off.
For the lead to the inside, here comes Tate Lytle on lap number 42. He's going to send it off into the corner. He's going to clear him, but can the 5 of Close cross him over? I don't think he will. He might be satisfied. That was a power move by the 56.
And was able to do a great job keeping that car glued to the inside line, especially with his newer tires. So, did a great move there.
Field rolls their way through turns 1 and 2. There's Jadricic and Chad Brown fighting for 7th on the racetrack. Brown going to the high side, Jadricic to the bottom.
Yeah, Brown currently having a great run up in 8th place at the moment.
Paul Ross in the middle of a chaotic battle right now. There's Sheen, Thomas, Ross, Mike Stevens, and others. They're not really spreading out all that much. I mean, they do get strung out a bit, but you really don't see any gaps between race cars.
Yeah.
When 2 cars get together, it just wads everybody right back up into it.
And you see Thomas kind of stuck on that inside lane at the moment. Sheen was able to get by, and Ross is also able to power his way on through.
Wow, look at the drivers when they enter on the high side. It looks like they're going straight for the wall.
Yeah, as I can say, especially again, these guys are able to use all that downforce to corner very late. You see him get into the wall in the straightaway just a little bit there.
Richard Hines, who was involved in the last collision, and Brandon Klusser, who's done a pretty masterful job avoiding most of the situations out there today. Has some slight front-end damage, but trust me, just like last week at Las Vegas, you could probably finish with a pretty beat-up car tonight the way things have been going. Gene and Paul Ross fighting for 11th.
Ross is going to win that play. Was able to work around the 51. He's going to be trying to gain the spots that he lost. Still not entirely sure why. I imagine he might have just gotten loose and put the car on the apron just not to spin out.
Yeah, that's looking more likely. I don't know why you'd ever give up voluntary track position like that. But
making up, regaining what he lost, and here you see Close now trying to hold off Leo Zelensky behind. 5 Close is starting to fall back just a little bit.
Yeah, Zelensky has been about a 3rd place car most of the night. Started 6th. Has been kind of stuck back here. Hasn't really had an opportunity to shine as the leader just yet, but give him some laps and give him some time. I think he'll get himself up there, but for now, Tate Lytle is the quickest car on the track still.
I could see him being the quickest car for the foreseeable future at the moment. He's already iked out to a second lead over Sam Blows.
Yeah, and I could see this race going green for long periods if we could just get separated out. Although I'm watching.
There was a big cloud of smoke
Yep,
and
the
some guys
two-
getting to each other.
The two car, Richard
whoa.
Hines. Wow, he's really slow. So I think the 2 car has been involved in whatever just happened back there.
I think he was using something separate. He was kind of moseying on through.
He hit the wall. No, that was it actually.
No,
He just
there was something else.
Was
Or,
it?
yeah, there was something else.
Oh, there
where guys-
was?
Yeah. Some guys just kind of got into each other through the dog leg. Not sure who.
Trying to get a look.
Might have been around Mike Stevens.
Oh, the 20. It was right in front. It was the 52 of Kolb, I believe. I think he slipped sideways. Let's take a look again. Oh,
No, that was the first thing, and
oh, right here. The 52 got turned by the 75.
Wow.
Saved it, though. Did a great job doing that, but we got to jump back live because there is a battle going on for 4th place on the track. It's Kevin Finn and David Wilson. Now add Grunberg into the mix.
and Gruber is also going to have a say in this fight. He's going to throw it to the inside. Wilson looks like he's going to give him the spot for now.
On a turn 4, I think the front 5 are kind of getting themselves strung out. And as I was saying, I think we could see long green flag runs here if we could just go another 20 to 30 laps
Yeah.
and get green
And-
flag stops underway.
And I think also a large part of it has to do, especially the cautions haven't really helped this at all. But I think guys just getting the faster guys getting thrown at the back a few times, and they're trying to muscle their way on through the front. And so we're seeing that difference in speed with some slower guys being up there and a lot of passing going on
I'll
from
tell you,
that.
Johnny Thomas and Liam Sheen are wearing each other out right now.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get separated from each other. They've been constantly going at each other. And meanwhile, Paul Ross, who got around them, he's working his way past Brent Miller, trying to break inside the top 10.
Well, this is still forward progress for the 83 who started 20th. Who was that who just made it crazy? That was Brent Miller in the 89 who did a great crossover, and so does Johnny Thomas. He's going to get to the inside of Sheen. And if he gets a good launch down here, should be able to clear him unless Sheen gets a good run. I think the 83's got this, and he does.
Looks like Sheen looks in one, wasn't able to make the move.
These guys, we've seen this story before.
Working the outside there is Cole trying to hold it on the inside.
But they got together a couple laps ago. And keeping distance this time.
Yeah.
That's about keeping 5 mile separation if I've ever seen it.
Oh,
Whoa! No! Into the corner. And look at those, both those guys, the 88 and the 75 just sailed it in the corner. I don't even think they hit the brake pedal.
That almost looked like Sims was aiming for Cove.
It looked like it to me, too.
This is the second time we've seen someone do that, too.
Well, a third time, actually. I thought there was one other opportunity where we saw that. But, wow, yeah, hold on. Here's Frank Sims on board here. Let's just listen to the throttle. You be the judge.
I have no, it's kind of hard to tell. As many, looks like they're going to be separated for now. They got McKeeboy in between them, so should diffuse for now if there was anything between them.
Kolb is still stuck 2 laps down after starting the night, already down a lap. Chad Brown and Brent Miller were going for a spot. Johnny Thomas has gotten around Liam Sheen, and that's his side on a top 10, but that blue number 89 Camaro is the one who has that spot right now.
And here comes Johnny Thomas trying to get around Chad Brown. He's going to have a look to the inside here in 1. What means is Chad Brown's running as well as he is with that damaged car.
Started 24th, so a good climb forward for him.
He's able to get a great run off the corner here. Try to beat Thomas, but Thomas is still going to come on strong as they enter into 3.
Liam Sheen sizing him up from behind.
Sheen also looks like he has a potentially strong car, just hasn't been able to get the track position to kind of get up in the fight.
Look at the launch. He gets out of turn 2, but he got tight there on corner exit, and Velez is going to take that spot right away from him. Close quarters there on the dog leg.
Yeah, try to pinch Velez there, almost got involved in a wreck there, but they're going to keep it clean.
Up front, Tate Lytle has stretched his lead out to 1.1 seconds. We've had now, I believe, about a 29, almost 30 lap run since we went back green here. So we're starting to make some inroads into a long green flag run, maybe some green flag pit stops on the horizon. First one we will see since Daytona.
And in this last lap, this pack almost crashed about 3 times. they're playing with inches right now.
Oh boy, they're gonna wear me out. It's been a long week over here in Binghamton, New York, and energy level is low, so I'm just hoping I can provide enough commentary tonight. Rusty Webb's got some pretty significant right side damage. Remember, he was the one that got caught up in that last lap collision at Daytona and really didn't get the finish he deserved. So it's not going to be a great night for him unless he turns things around. He's currently one of the last drivers on the lead lap. Kevin Finn and Matt Gruenberg running 4th and 5th. Remember, Gruenberg started in 29th. We talked about it a couple times tonight, but I know he played some strategy, but what an incredible climb forward. And to have that car as clean as it is a win within itself.
Yeah, I mean, also just had a bit of luck on his hand, too. A lot of these wrecks bringing up the cautions that's been able to allow him to move up. As the wreck car is transferred to the back of the field. Here we see Tanner Sharp diving below Frankenfield, putting him a lap down, or well, passing him as he's a lap down. There you see Jadicic also trying to catch up to Tanner Sharp. Yeah,
Frankenfield's actually 2 laps down, so really his night not going very well. A block by the 6 and the 14, trying to get underneath him down into turn 1. He'll have to wait his turn now.
Yeah, these guys are working through some lap traffic here. It's going to be very interesting because there's a lot of the lap traffic that's pretty off pace. Yeah,
Carlos Acosta's car absolutely destroyed, just trying to make laps to get some spots away from the drivers that may potentially still wreck. We have 140, or 100, yeah, is that right? 140 laps to go? I think yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm really burned out, but yeah, so 140 laps to go. It's a long way. An hour left in this race. We've already been going for about 25 minutes. Tim Sheen and Stevens fighting down the front straight.
Gonna check out the inside, see
Oh, contact out of turn 2. A little light brush with the rear bumper. Make him squirrely up ahead of them, though. Look at Velez and Johnny Thomas fighting for 11. Oh, and he slips right in front of Chad Brown.
Yeah, Chad Brown hit the wall entering the corner there.
Being beginning to struggle here a little bit. I wonder if he's abusing his tires. Wade Lear looking to the inside.
It could be, and again, also a lot of the guys again that got put back in the pack, trying to make up their spots under caution. So far, actually, I was looking up at the top of the order, and Sam Close, he started to make some inroads on Lytle, but now is falling off the back. The gap's expanded to 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, he actually had it down about 0.8 of a second and re-expanded it back to 1.3. I'm sorry, just throwing big down into turn number 1, though, Jadicic and Paul Ross, 8th and 9th at the moment. Ross started towards the rear or the mid-pack, 21st for him tonight, and it's had kind of an eventful one. But Stevens and Miller now going for 14. Oh, scratch that. How about this fight? 4th place, Kevin Finn and Gruenberg. Gruenberg had a look to the inside, couldn't complete it, though.
These three have been kind of stuck together, haven't really been able to get separated from each other.
All right, so let's take a look at the lap times here, Finney. We've been running for about 36 laps since the restart, and we've dropped off only a second. That's really little drop-off in my mind. So the tire here quite hard, and so that means that undercuts will not really be as effective, so you probably just want to run this thing out to the end of the fuel tank, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely so. I don't think there's really much advantage in hitting early, at least from what it seems at the moment.
Chad Brown in 13th. Been an interesting start to the year for him in that 64 car. Stevens, I'm just so impressed that he is still going with the car that smashed up, and I guarantee you, he'll be lucky to get that thing to the end of the night with the radiator smashed in like this.
I was going to say, that's probably his biggest concern, but so far it seems to be running pretty well. If it was going to blow up, I feel like it would have blown up already, so it's continuing to march on.
All right, let's do a little check-in on your leader, Tate Lytle. We haven't looked at him in a little while, so here he is. It's now a 1.5-second gap over Sam Close. Then it's Levi Zielinski, Kevin Finn, Gruenberg, Wilson, Sharp, Jadicic, Paul Ross, Brett Miller, your top 10. We're 66 laps into this 200-lap race. And Gruenberg and Finn continue to try to swap spots behind, and this time, looks like Finn's going to win the battle yet again.
Finn's gonna. I think Gruenberg's kind of hit a wall here. He has just not been able to get around that 14 car, and caution is out.
And this time it's for Johnny Thomas in the 83
no.
on the front straightaway. And I'm going to make a prediction before we look at this replay. It was for a very similar reason as to Carlos Acosta's wreck about 30 laps ago. So we'll take a look. There's a look at it. Nathan Velez and... Oh, Velez, nope, very different scenario, actually. Velez pounded the fence out of turn 4, and Thomas almost had it saved. Contact pretty light there, so he should be okay.
I think lost quite a bit of track position in that wreck, but luckily he was able to just kind of get back rolling again.
Yeah, this is one of those situations where you just kind of have to trust the guy to make the corner, and Velez missed it, and not really a whole lot Johnny Thomas could have done other than predict it, but it's hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very common wreck at Phoenix coming off of 4 especially.
Take caution out. It's the 4th time in 68 laps. And pit stop's underway here.
Everyone coming down again. Tires relatively worn out. Enough where you would want definitely 4 fresh tires. But what I'm curious, well, not concerned, but curious about is anyone going to dare try maybe doing 2 tires?
I'd say go for it. I mean, if they're paying attention to the lap times, they would have seen by now that the drop-off is not that significant, so it's worth it, I think.
I would say, and especially most of the load is going to be on the right side tire, so I imagine the left side's relatively pretty good shape. So we'll see if anyone does try it. I'll be surprised, especially guys towards the back, if they don't just, why not at this point? This is a good time. Better than any to try to figure out how to pull some strategy late in the race.
Race off pit road, Tate Lytle wins it. And Wilson's going to gain a bunch of spots with that, and I think... No, everyone took 4, Finian, so I guess I'm surprised by that. I would have thought somebody would have tried to.
Everyone playing it safe at the moment, just trying to hustle on through it. I think this is guys looking at the fact that we're going to be having some long runs here. Granted, we don't have another string of cautions here, so I think that's probably what guys are setting up for.
All right, well, we're 69 laps into this race. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back with you in just a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back live to Sim TV. My name is Kyle Heyer alongside Fiddy Nakuna. We've been racing for 71 of 200 laps tonight. And if you're looking at the top left-hand corner of the screen, we did a quick restart of their timing software. So just bear with us until the lap count comes on back in just a few minutes. But Tate Lytle in the 56 is your current leader after 71 laps. And we've had 4 cautions, but for the most part, other than that, a lot of green flag running. I think we've seen the strong cars emerge to the front. Any one of these top 5 cars, I think, could win this race.
Yeah, it's actually probably expanded to the top 6, I think, really. All those guys have been up in the front. They kind of broke away from the rest of the field. Haven't really seen anyone else join them, so I'd say really if you're going to place bets on a winner, definitely that top 6. I think especially that 56 of Tate Lytle. He seems to be in his own zip code at the moment. But I'm kind of curious now with everyone back on some fresh rubber here and another chance, especially with Grunberg up in 4th place. We'll see what he can do.
All right, so that 22 minutes and 45 seconds you're seeing, it's actually an hour and 22 minutes and 45 seconds, but that's going to definitely come on down. That's the time to the end of the session. We have about 130 laps to go, so that lap timer will update here in a couple minutes as ATVO refigures itself out. We have to restart it every once in a while because it gets laggy, and we don't like dealing with laggy cameras, so we're going to deal with that. So it'll be fixed in a couple minutes, but the running order is correct. We'll bring that back up here in a minute after the restart, and we're back green again here at Phoenix. And a big stack up on the outside lane, a couple rows deep.
few guys not getting up to speed just as quickly as some other guys, but everyone getting through there pretty okay. There's Kim and Finn trying to pinch the 5 to the outside.
And he does a great job of that and will swing around and take third place away.
And a horrible restart for Sam Close. Drops from second all the way back to fourth already. And he's got David Wilson looking to his inside.
And here comes Levi Zielinski trying to go up the outside lane. It doesn't look like he'll be able to do that, but a big gaggle of race cars through turns 3 and 4 just ahead of Saw. Ooh, that's the 94 Kluser who's getting real tight to the wall, and now a big stack up on the front straightaway as they get single filed back out.
Yeah, this is the most important. Lee Machine looked like he almost hit the quarter panel on someone, made a very close dive.
Oh boy. There's your running order now as Tate Lytle tries to drive away Matt Gruenberg up to second from 29th. Whoa, the one car sails it under there. That's Dylan Hickey, who's 2 laps down. 3 wide through the middle of turns 3 and 4. That's a 53 of Dave Butt, and the 83 of Johnny Thomas up the middle.
And they make themselves through there somehow, okay?
And there's Jadrosich in 10th place. Oh, crash in the background. 21 of Keyboy. And up over the jump and almost upside down again.
Saves it.
Slides
Wow.
back onto the racetrack and somehow doesn't bring out a yellow. There's the goes to 24 of Acosta to the inside. He's familiar with being up in the air after earlier tonight.
I think guys really want to take the rallycross version of this track. It's the
Hey,
third time we've seen someone
I said
caught
that
air.
this would be a problem tonight, and you know, honestly, I wasn't so sure it would be, but it has been. So
Yeah.
I feel smart.
Almost did a barrel roll there.
Well, we've seen that it has caused a barrel roll at the 15 of Frankenfield. Up towards the front, though, Gruenberg is bringing the fight to Tate Lytle. I think if anybody can bring it to him, it's going to be that 54 car.
Yeah, and I think, again, hit kind of a wall on his tires. I think on the last run wasn't able to really move past Kevin Finn. Now he's currently charging in second place, and I think that 56 should be just a little bit worried about his mirror.
Kind of a bunch of race cars trying to figure out their running order back here in the midfield from 15th on back.
And as I was saying, considering a lot of guys are damaged and constantly pitting and shuffling around, especially considering the amount of damage to some cars, these guys can be constantly shuffling with each other and trying to figure out who's faster with who with their damage they have.
It's easier said than done. Seen so far tonight. Johnny Thomas trying to recover. Remember, he had a car on his roof earlier tonight.
I would say, all things considered, that car looked in pretty good shape, and I mean, with another caution or two, he might be able to muscle his way back up to the top 10, because considering the guys around him, especially, that car looks in pretty good shape.
Yeah, usually when you damage the roof of the car, it's, you know, you flip over. It's not often when it's someone else on top of you. But that's how it happens. I mean, Ryan Newman has it happen all the time to him. He's fighting with Rusty Webb right now for 17th on course. And we're closing in on halfway in about 7 to 10 minutes here, Finian. So now you're trying to set yourself up for the end, and how do you do that? Are you going to try to short pit this and run this like a road course? Or are you going to just run out the fuel tank and worry about the ending later?
Well, I think, you know, especially if these guys have some fuel calculators, I say dial them up and figure out, well, where you need to pit, kind of do the math, or if you have a friend that can work it out with you, try to figure out the math on that. Kind of plan out your pit stops ahead of time. You can definitely run out the fuel. I don't think the tire will be too bad, but if you really want to maximize the benefit you get from the tires, you're going to be wanting to time it.
Well, how about if you're Matt Gruenberg right now, Finian? What's your option? We haven't seen a lot of tire drop-off, so maybe undercutting isn't the way to go. You might just want to try to run him down on the racetrack and then come to pit road with him. Done a great job. Tate Lytle is searching around the racetrack for grip. We haven't had to see him do that all night. He's pretty much been running the same line, but now that he's under pressure, he's moving around the racetrack, trying to find a place to find speed as Gruenberg reels him in. It was quicker by a 10th last lap.
And he's done a great job.
Oh, slow car on the back stretch. That's the Zielinski in the 6.
Oh, no.
He has trouble. The 6 car, who's running up in the top 5.
And the car looks relatively undamaged, so maybe got loose off of 2.
Yeah, I think he spun out. A loose off of 2. Yes, he did. Woo. And probably similar story here. Oh, wow. Man, another big jump.
But actually, I'm amazed because that car doesn't look like it took a jump like that. Splitter looks pretty much fine.
Oh, we've seen this way too many times tonight. Whoa!
I would say did a great job keeping the car straight at least going over there, because I definitely didn't want to go over there sideways.
Well, Zielinski needs a little bit of luck, and so far it hasn't been the case tonight. He was running well before, but things just cannot seem to go right for the 16.
They should have got an airline
Yes.
company to sponsor
Southwest,
this.
probably. Hey, painted the walls the right color.
Yeah, I mean,
the sun takes care of the orange part. With a desert dirt around it. Up towards the front, though, Gruenberg's kept that 0.2 of a second gap pretty constant. Loses a little bit through 3 and 4.
you see kind of slowly breaking with the rest field a little. Finn and Close have been within distance of them.
Before it gets too exciting and we're going to miss too many more wrecks, let's do a SimTV Sound Surge. I don't think we got a great opportunity to do one last night. We kind of had to shove one in there, so we'll do it right now and bring you the sounds of Avondale, Arizona. Caution out here again for the 5th time tonight, and trying to find out who it was. I think
I saw a red car that was kind of slow. I don't know, maybe.
I thought I saw some smoke in front of our lead. Oh, it was, maybe it was the 27? Could have been.
So.
He pulled off to the side of the racetrack. I thought it happened in front of our leader. I saw some smoke.
I did too, and then I don't know.
Honestly, don't know what that was for.
Oh, there's some more smoke there.
We'll take a look at the turn 2 camera here. Might give us an idea. I see the 27 pulling off the racetrack, and not really sure what else was the issue here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not really sure, to be totally honest with you. Come on, let's do this scientifically here. I wonder if the 27 stopping triggered it. He stops on course. Yes, it was. I think it was him. It happened exactly when he closed out. So the 27, I think, was the reason for that caution. So pit stop's underway.
Some reason.
Well, there's possible that it wasn't, but I couldn't see anybody else.
I mean, yeah. Honestly, that was way too conveniently timed.
Yep. Caution out again tonight, and everyone's coming down for tires. We're closing in on the halfway point in about 10 laps. Lytle in the pit lane. He's led the majority of the latter stages of this race. But I have noticed that Grunberg has picked up the pace. The question is, does he have the pace to go chase down Lytle? It's going to be a race off pit road.
And here it might be pretty close here.
I might get him. It's going to be close. Lytle wins the race off pit lane. And
I'm slightly concerned from Grunberg because we've seen, I think really we've seen definitively now that the second place guy has a really tough time getting that jump over the leader. You've seen the second place driver fall back a position or two on the start if they're not able to jump reacting time, but we'll see if Grunberg is able to change that scenario so far.
I just noticed that for the past week and a half, I have not had the TV logo at the top right hand.
Oh no, someone will steal our broadcast.
I turned it off for the Spec MX-5 broadcast because our ticker runs up there, but I have to turn it back on. Problem solved. I need to go grab a glass of water. Take a break?
Yeah, sure, why not?
All right, we'll be back in just a second. I'm going to go get some H2O, and we'll be back in just a moment. lied. We're back a little bit sooner than 3 minutes, but we're coming back to the green flag. I got a big, tall, cold glass of water. Make sure you drink your water, folks. It's good for you.
Or drink Pepsi.
Especially in
Not
Arizona.
Hashtag not sponsored.
It's 90 degrees out here in Arizona, and I got a little thirsty, so do me. Pepsi.
Not sponsored. Please sponsor us. Give us money.
Oh, I mean, Coke's pretty good, too. But I think if I had to choose, probably Pepsi. Okay, hold on. Let me clarify. Coke for the actual cola, Pepsi for everything else.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Rolling out of turn number 4, Tate Lytle has led the most laps of anyone so far tonight, and will take the field back to the green flag as the clouds roll over here in Phoenix. Which is not something you usually say about Phoenix. It's usually bright and sunny out here.
Yeah, it's been very cloudy today so far, and it looks like it's going to continue with that trend. And you see David Hunt trying to fight to the outside, but so far the leader's already spread out. And there you see Grunberg fall back as Kevin Finn was able to jump him.
I think you mentioned something about him starting on the inside. It might hurt him here a little bit, but look at this. There's a big fight here. There is a 75 of Frank Sims and Levi Zielinski back in 20th. This night has just gone so south so quickly for him.
And he's slowly been. I think this is a good chance for him to turn it back around. I got some fresh tires on that car, able to work it up there, and you see Grunberg now trying to find a way around that 14. We saw him struggling in that in an earlier run trying to get around that 14, wasn't able to do it. We'll see you guys. Better luck this run.
Gonna charge in pretty deep, but not quite gonna be able to get alongside the 14 just yet as they round turn number 4. I think the intensity level that we saw in the earlier part of the race might ramp back up here in the later stages, Finney. I think we've seen everyone driving relatively calmly in the late stages of this one, but now the battle for the lead is on. Lytle has not been able to pull a lead on Kevin Finn or Grunberg yet. They're still about a 10th and a half behind.
And we'll see. I wonder if Lytle may be managing his stuff here or is going full tilt, but here you see Wilson working to the outside of Tanner Sharp. These guys still side by side.
Tanner Sharp has recovered. Remember, he was one of the first ones to experiment with the launch mode on the back straightaway. He's back up into 7th place right now and trying to claw his way into 6th.
I would say that car also looks like it's never saw the air, but definitely, as we saw, it definitely did.
Well, if it sees the air, it's not a problem. It's when it sees the ground after the air that's the problem. Battle for the lead continues as Lytle tries to stretch the lead out, but Kevin Finn had reeled him back in the first half of that lap, but drops back again at the end of the lap.
And it looks like also behind them, Sam Cole looks to be a little bit more racy behind that. Or might see him try to peek out, make a pass on Grunberg.
He disappeared for a little while, about laps 50 on, so he's back in the fight.
Even Paul Ross to slowly move his way inside the top 5, didn't really mention that, but he's also got a...
Liam Sheen in the 51. I mean, is there disappointment inside this cockpit right now? I mean, he
he's
led both practices, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he thought he'd probably have a better run than this. He's having the best run of his season so far, but I think he was expecting a bit more.
Well, he's still got a good, a little over half the race to turn it back around. He's currently in 12th, so definitely gonna, I think, get inside the top 10. Matter of one for that 51. Yadersic looks like he flashed out.
Yeah, he's been.
And
Internet's
he's back.
been struggling. Look at this top 5, though. Could you ask for a closer race than that? Lytle, Finn, Grunberg, Close, and Paul Ross. And how about these two? Remember, they ended up winning, or actually finishing 1-2 at the Daytona race a couple weeks ago, and right now running 4th and 5th. It's been a good start to the season for them. Trying to keep that on as we head towards lap number 100 and the halfway point of this race.
But I say they're all really close together, as you said, as we're approaching halfway, and also giving out halfway points to the top 10.
Which are going to matter, trust me, when we get down to the chase at the end of the year, those points are going to matter. So Lytle leads right now. If he gets through one more time, he's going to collect himself 10 points atop the board at the moment. And with about 43 minutes remaining in this event through turns 3 and 4, it's a race to the halfway point, and Tate Lytle, after starting dead last night and finishing inside the top 10, he starts this evening in the 3rd spot, makes his way to 1st. He'll get the 10 points for the halfway win. Then it's Finn, Grunberg, Close, Ross, Wilson, Sharp, Jadersic, Miller, and Velez getting the rest of the halfway points. Caution again. This time it's Richard Hines on the front straightaway.
Oh, yeah. And that's another bad wreck for the two. Hasn't been able to catch a break today.
First one was not his fault, and this one, oh man. Saw a glimpse of this one. This one hurts. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Whoa.
that seemed more out of frustration than anything.
I almost wonder, this could be a hardware failure. I'm thinking. And we have to watch. Tires. No, I don't know.
No,
Just pounded the wall. Either way, Hines out of this one, just understeered right into the fence. No explanation for that one. Nothing I know. I just don't see anyone. I mean, they're able to hang with him, but they're not able to get around him, Finian.
Yeah,
Is Tate Lytle the one to win this race?
Honestly, it's looking like it. I mean, he seems to have a really good car on him right now as they run. Actually, guys, already back down on pit road.
That's an interesting move here. We haven't seen the fall-off be significant at all, so I'm just wondering why we're coming to get tires every time, but I guess you can. You might as well, right?
This might also be, maybe, I guess, to align the fuel a bit better.
Well, so probably one stop it from here, I would assume.
And I think, again, I think these guys are also just anticipating a long run, so I think they don't want to be caught out over the course of it. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of the move down.
All right, let's see if we can maybe talk to somebody. Maybe we'll pull in Liam Sheen and chat with him so far. Let's let him finish the pit stop sequence first. I don't believe he's a charter driver either, Finian, so he's just in here trying to get a victory without a charter. I think I'm looking correctly. Is back up to speed, back on the racetrack. So let's pull in Liam Sheen and talk to him. Hey, Liam Sheen, it's Kyle from SimTV. You got a copy?
Yeah, I gotcha.
All right, Liam. Well, we know you were quick in practice earlier this week, running 13th right now. How's the car handling, and have your expectations for this race been met so far?
Before that, we had such a strong run. I think we had pretty much a top 5 car until that incident with Corey happened. I guess the 15 shot down. I tried to get by before he shot up, but handled pretty good. Has a pretty good balance right now. So I'm just trying to, keep a rhythm here and maybe salvage a top 10 out of this.
What's the fuel situation look like right now? Probably just going to one-stop it from here to the end?
Yeah, probably. I'm not going to try any crazy fuel strategy because, that's just a lot to lose at this point. So I'm just going to probably one-stop it, not try to save that much, just go for it.
And how's the new package at this racetrack? For us, this is the first time seeing these cars operate at the old Phoenix. Is it really slippery? Is it really grippy? I think we've seen a lot of aggression tonight. And why do you think that is?
Gonna be honest, it's actually just grippy in the corner, but the problem is it's tight off of 2 and loose off of it really drags the people that are towards the back up towards us, so it's easier for more people to be competitive here because they don't have to worry about being so loose in the corners. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the package.
All right, well, Liam, I think you're going to be lined up 12th for the restart. Going back green this time by. Thanks for talking to us. We might check in later with you, so stay tuned. Thanks for talking.
Yeah, no problem.
Liam Sheen, who's running 12th at the moment, and that number 51 Chevrolet Camaro. And again, we talked about his speed in practice. It's translating to his best run of the season so far. We'll see if he can hang on, maybe get himself a top 10. Coming back to the green flag, Tanner Sharp is currently scored as your leader, Finn, and I think he chose not to stop.
That was the only driver.
No. Correct. Incorrect.
Oh, took 2 tires.
2 tires. So Tanner Sharp's going to try something I thought we would have seen earlier tonight.
Yeah,
he's the first driver to try that strategy.
I was going to say, honestly, he's pretty much might as well be on 4 tires considering the fall we've seen.
We only ran a couple laps prior to that most recent caution flag. Green flag flies lap 106. Tanner Sharp takes off on the outside lane, and that's going to hurt Tate Lytle as he's got the 14 of Finn to his outside, and I think Lytle's going to get shuffled back to 3rd here on the restart.
Finn's just able to send into the corner. I think that's why we're seeing that the leader usually drop back to 3rd place, and then you see Lytle pulling back through. And this is also the first time we've seen him in traffic for a while, so I'm interested in seeing how the 56 is going to react to this.
He's going to drive right around the inside, though. He could get himself clear of the 14, but it's going to take a lot of effort. Not quite. Kevin Finn drives up around the outside, and now Tate Lytle, he was going hang on to the lead earlier. Now he's fighting to hang into 3rd now, as here comes Grunberg around the outside.
I think he's just trying to stick into this, but Grunberg's going to try to muscle his way on through. Kevin Finn's clear at the moment.
Ooh. And Grunberg goes to the outside lane to get around Tate Lytle, and 2 tires so far has worked out for Tanner Sharp. We're only about a lap into this, so we're not really sure how it's going to hang over into the long run.
So far, it is playing out pretty well for him. Again, yeah, like you said, we need a few more laps to kind of see how this plays out. How about if we look a few positions back? Johnny Thomas in the 83 up into 8th place.
This has been a night to forget so far. He started out having a pretty decent night, but then had a car on his roof. He's currently back in 8th, so things are turning around for the 83, but back up front, look at this fight. The top 5 cars right on top of each other. And Tate Lytle trying to fight his way back to the top spot as Tanner Sharp is now under attack from Kevin Finn, that number 14 Crown Royal Ford Fusion. I almost said Mustang.
And Finn looked like he was trying to make it past to the inside. He's going to get a run here, dive down low on exit. You see them come off the corner. Finn's going to have a quarter panel there. They're going to be side by side, barely through the dog leg.
3 cars that carry that momentum around the outside. Again, he's on older tires on those left sides. And it looks like they're hanging on pretty well so far, but I just don't know when you get 10, 15, maybe 20 laps in this run if they're going to be able to hang on. Gruenberg all over the back of the 14. Here comes Close battling to the inside of the 56.
Yeah, Lytle trying to secure his position on the outside lane. He's going to force Sam Close to go to the inside. And it looks like Lytle's going to hold on to fourth for now.
There's a view from third place Matt Gruenberg. And what do you do here, Finian? Do you push the issue? Do you ride in third and let Kevin Finn do the dirty work?
I think that's probably exactly what he's going to do. He's been riding behind that 14. I'm sure he's just going to try to ride behind a little bit longer, let him poke the hole.
Side by side for the lead. It's the 14 and the 3, but they're going to get strung back out again. It looks like that inside lane's just too hard to get a run down there unless you're a lot quicker.
Yeah, and you really need to also build up that run the corner prior and really get a run down the straightaway. So we're going to see Finn. You see him falling off a little bit. Gruenberg looks like he might have a look.
Look at the momentum he carries through 3 and 4.
3 different lanes through the corner there.
Yeah, they're trying everything tonight. Let's quickly jump back towards the rear of the midfield here. I want to take a look at this fight between Miller, Liam Sheen, and Giad Rasich. This is a fight for 9th place on the racetrack. Oh, close out of turn 2 for those guys.
Yeah, Liam Sheen trying to break inside the top 10 for the first time tonight. Was trying to get to the inside. Miller couldn't get it done. And here's Gruenberg all the way down on the yellow line.
Drops to the inside, but so hard to carry momentum down there, and looks like the 14 of Finn would just drive right back around him, and Gruenberg had to slide back up in line before Tate Lytle could get to his outside.
And off before they come, that top 6 really very hooked up together.
Everyone in a single file line. Now we get down to turn 3, and Gruenberg drops again to the inside lane. 14's caught up behind the 3. I think the 54 is trying to use the 3 as a pick. But he gets loose through the middle of the corner. Here comes Lytle back to the outside.
Yeah, he lost a lot of speed on the exit there. Lytle taking advantage of it to the outside. He goes.
Been trying to put pressure on. He's there. He's to the inside of great run out of turn 2. But can he launch himself into turn 3 deep enough to get the spot away? Battle for first, battle for third on the right-hand side of your screen.
Yeah, Finn can't let Sharp pinch him down. Otherwise, he could lose the spot here. It's Finn trying to gas it up.
Almost had it. He's going to run the 3 up the racetrack out of turn 4, side by side for the lead. Who leads this lap to the line? It's going to be Kevin Finn by a nose. Tate Lytle gets 3rd place away, now sets his sights on the leaders.
Yeah, Lytle's able to muscle his way past Gruenberg, and there you see Finn able to move past Sharp, and I think that's going to be all she wrote with the 3 for now.
Yeah, the 3 cars back to the inside. Lytle gets shuffled on over as they head to turn number 3. I think the 56 is the one to watch right now as he launches his way around Tanner Sharp, and goodbye, number 3. I think we have a new leader here. The 14's going to have it, and Tate Lytle squirts around the outside now as a run at the leader.
Oh, and Sharp tries to come up to clear Gruenberg, but here comes Gruenberg to the inside for 3rd.
Things are going downhill quickly for that 3 car, but I still think the gamble would pay off in about a 15 to 20 lap run at the end of the race, so keep that in mind.
And you see him get the run off the corner. He's actually still able to fight with Gruenberg as Lytle now diving to the inside of Finn.
Finn launched it in pretty deep. Lytle, I don't think, can match that, but he's going to throttle up mid-corner and get right alongside the 14.
Gonna be side by side off the corner. Great racing here.
Lap number 117 and down side by side through turn number 1. The 56 on the inside line. There's lap traffic up ahead. Can they get clear before there? Not quite. Kevin Finn's going to clear him off turn 2. And now Gruenberg has shuffled his way into 3rd place now.
Oh, and he's going to immediately have a look at the 56 car.
Didn't waste any time there, but I don't know if he'll be able to hang on. I think 56 is going to get a great run out of turn 4. Take that spot away.
And Sharp with a little bit of run, doesn't think about looking here. I think Sharp's going to just kind of play this out, just ride for a little bit.
A good experiment, though. Definitely worth it for the 3 to try that. Again, I would do that if we had about a 20 to 30 lap run, maybe a little bit less than that. That's a good gamble.
And here he is now trying to pass Gruenberg again. To the inside he goes.
Oh, just can't quite get alongside. Battle for the lead back on through 3 and 4 as Kevin Finn tries to hang on to Tate Lytle. So we've reversed roles here on lap 119.
Actually, Paul Ross in 7th. He's reeled in back into the cruise. The top 7 all within under a second and a half to each other. You can see them all nose to tail.
Coming soon to 80 to go. I think our top 5 best cars have not really changed. I think really anybody out in this top 5 could probably win this race. I think Lytle, Finn, and Gruenberg are really the three to watch. You could throw Sam Close in there if he gets himself back
Finn
up there.
into the wall.
Yeah, he got really tight out of turn 4, and that's going to give Lytle a great run down to the inside, side by side again for the lead.
Have a look here. He's going to keep that car to the line, but just can't match that run off the corner.
80 to go at the line. Finn, Lytle, Gruenberg, your top three, all separated by only 0.3 of a second. You have to look about a second behind them to find Tanner Sharp and Sam Close, but out of turn 4 again, side by side between the top two. We get down to turn 1, and Lytle's going to drive up the inside, but it's,
it gets tight.
That's real tight through 1 and 2. Contact, the 14 gets turned.
Woo, and saves it. Great
Wow.
job there.
He saves it, and now it's going to be a scramble behind as everyone scatters to get around the disabled 14.
Tough break for Finn though, but great save there.
That could have been disastrous for him. Let's take a look at that contact, and 56 just pushed up the racetrack, and there's two guys going for the same spot on the surface.
You can see Lytle gas it up there, but gets tight.
Just such light contact, but he hung that thing out sideways and did a great job. And look at the 3 of Sharp and the 5 of Close, splitting him up the middle and keeping that from being an absolute mess.
As Finn's currently holding off Jadrich, has been able to work his way back up into 8th place. But here you see Paul Ross and Close. Teammates fighting for a spot here.
Tate Lytle has the lead now by 0.4 over Gruenberg. It's Sharp, and then it's the battle between these two that we're watching right now. And then look at this gaggle, the 14 in the middle of the 39 of Wilson and the 42 of Jadrich. There's Johnny Thomas. Liam Sheen got him the fence out of turn 2. This is a battle for 14th, Stevens and Dave Hunt.
And I feel like they haven't really been able to get separated. I've seen them around each other quite a few times in this race.
Sure have been awful close, haven't they? Let's jump back to the Kevin Finn fight. He's now back to the inside of David Wilson. But now he's fighting an uphill battle. It's been very difficult to get track position. I think that's why we saw Tanner Sharp throw something at the wall and made it stick. He's still currently riding in 3rd.
Send it to the inside of Wilson, though he's going to be tight. Actually, looks like he's able to get around him. Wilson's going to let him through.
Yeah, good job there to get around the 39, who was our pole sitter tonight. But Lytle has driven out to a half a second lead again. I think once that 56 gets clean air, he's the quickest car out here. So if anyone wants to beat him, I think they're going to have to get out in front like the 3 of Tanner Sharp did, but they got to do a better job hanging on.
Yeah, or either do maybe some sort of strategy, I guess, when it comes down to pit stuff, maybe pit a few laps early, I suppose just a lap or so, try to pull a really good undercut and get just to get ahead of the 56.
We'll say that Gruenberg has been at least matching the lap times from the 56, and we knew that the 54 this year was going to be strong in every series he runs in, but this has just been a great start so far this season, and if he could get a win on the Cup side of things this early, it would certainly help his confidence level here so far. So where is he in points right now, the 54 of Gruenberg? 18th. I think he had a wreck in one of those 2 tracks, and which is why, but he's been running a lot better than his finishes show.
16 at Daytona and 4th at Vegas.
Yeah, both of which were crash damage related. But we will say that he's been running up front, although this is by far his strongest run of the season, and he's closed in within 0.3 of a second back to Lytle. But you mentioned earlier that Lytle's got to look out the mirror. I think he's got to look out for a bright yellow Jegs Ford Fusion. About midway through the field and find Chad Brown and Dave Hunt going at it right now. This is for 13.
Continue on again. Brown having a pretty solid day in 13, just kind of picking up these positions. This car has been damaged since the beginning of this race. Just been kind of dealing with it.
Everyone's kind of gotten, I mean, other than this little gaggle of race cars we got right here, is Stevens gets in the fence. I was going to say, we've seen everyone really kind of get strung out a couple tenths between each car, which is going to allow these runs to go green for a while. So now you're thinking, Finian, we got 70 to go here in a couple laps. What's the pit situation? When do you want to come down? You want to split it right down the middle? Because I think that's what you usually like to do.
I think that's pretty much the cut and dry thing here to do. Maybe a few laps here and there, maybe overcut, undercut, if you so please, but I don't think it's going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things.
I don't think so either, but what about, I mean, I talked about this earlier, what about Gruenberg or Sharp? I mean, what can they do to play some
I
strategy?
think for them, they would have to come in, definitely try to beat Lytle to pit road again, just to make up that time. So that they can again have some sort of attempt at the lead. I would say really Grunberg's in a better shape, not so much for Sharp, but Levi Zielinski down on pit road.
Yeah, he's a lap down, and this night started so good for him, and then just quickly, with one small incident, it sent him down.
The car? I don't think I see a helmet in there.
Nope.
Nope.
He is out of the car. And this is going to go from a bad night to a really bad night for the 6 that quickly.
Tough break for him.
And Sheen rolling on through. Ooh, that's the 46, a hand shot. He's had a really rough night. And he's doing quite well in the point standings, I thought. Or either that or in the truck series. I can't remember which. No, it is this one. Yeah, he's second in points leading into the night. This is going to really hurt that fight for him. Tanner Sharp, let me tell you, this two-tire strategy has worked out. Riding in third right now, I think everyone has got, if there's a caution, anytime in the last 50 laps, the more I see this car run, the more I think that's a feasible strategy to get yourself a top 5 or steal a top 5 away that you maybe weren't running in tonight. So I think everyone's got to be aware of what the 3 car did and maybe keep that in the back pocket for later. There's teammates Paul Ross and Sam Close again. These guys, we've been talking about dynamic duos that have been around each other. How about these guys? They've been around each other all season.
Yeah, in both series here, I mean, they've been around each other. So they've been having very consistent runs up towards the front, both of these cars. So again, keep an eye on these guys toward as the season goes on, because as far as consistency, I think really got to look at these two.
We know how good Paul Ross is and Sam Close. They were both quite competitive last season in the truck side of things. And now Close trying to close in on Paul Ross for 4th as they head down to turn number 1. And looks like Ross is going to give this spot away. There's Kevin Finn right behind. I'm sure he's probably a little frustrated inside that helmet, Finn. He's back to 6th after running inside the top 3 for the entire night. What's the strategy for him? I mean, do you try to claw your way back? I mean, what's the... track position so hard to get. I don't know if I'd be willing to throw away a 6th, just trying to get a 3rd, but I mean, maybe he's got that motivation though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he could be able to. I think really he's going to have to count on after this next pit stop, because I imagine his tires had a bit of a number done on them once he went sideways there for a bit. Took him a while to get back up to speed, but I mean, he's definitely there, so he'll definitely be able to catch up to the 18 and the 5 here. I mean, he pretty much is catching them every single lap. Will he be able to pass them? It's kind of yet to see.
There's a fight for 17th. That's Rusty Webb and Wade Lear, and they're going to trade spots down into the corner. And here comes Frank Sims trying to be advantageous. And these two, we said it before, these guys have been around each other all night. They continue to show that this deep in the race, lap number 137.
I think got a piece of the wall corner there.
Matt Brown and Dave Hunt again going at it, and I think this was a little bit more dramatic than they would have liked it to be, because look at Justin Cole. But how about this? He started the race a lap down. He has just been persistent, has fought his way back to the lead lap inside the top 15, going for 14th now.
Yeah, great stuff there. I mean, this really just shows keep at it. You'll be able to really overcome, and has been trying to move further up the field. Has had a tough time though getting around Chad Brown.
Close and Ross are close to each other, and there's Dylan Hickey, who is 2 laps down in 22nd. And look at the 14 car of Kevin Finn diving back to the inside. He wants his spots back, and he's going to go for him. He's going to split the teammates here out of turn 4. Now be side by side with Paul Ross on the front straight.
Ross going to have a little bit of advantage, but here they come into 1. Finn dives to the inside. He's not really able to keep it there, but definitely in 3 and 4 is really where he excels.
Closing in on 60 to go, and it looks like the 14 is going to get that spot away. Almost has it. Will he clear the 18? Yes, he does. Paul Ross cut him a break there and lifted. I think it's about time for a second and final SimTV Sound Search. Closing in on 50 to go here at Phoenix. It's been a wild one so far, but it had about a half a dozen cautions. Tate Lytle has been the dominant car of the evening, but Matt Grunberg is just keeping him in sight. I think there's a potential for that 54 to play some strategy and get track position over the 56, but it's going to have to be pretty creative.
Yeah, but they've done a great job, both of them, just breaking away from the rest of the field. So it's kind of come down to just a race between those two. Everyone else is kind of fighting for the spots behind them. But you see Finn trying to work his way over to Sam Close, but he's got to be careful because Paul Ross is lurking right behind him. Yeah,
if the 14 could get 4th spot away and then have the caution come out, he'd be delighted because that would line him up on the outside of row 2, which basically guarantees you 3rd after the restart lap. So I think that's what the 14's hoping for, but closing in on 50 to go. We haven't had a caution in quite some time. We were looking just prior to the lap since pit, 43 laps. I'd say pit stops the next 5 to 15 laps, I think
I
that
was going
range.
to say around 10 laps. So I would imagine a lot of guys are going to start coming down pit road.
Everyone's pretty much on the same strategy at this point, although we do see Justin Kolb coming out of the pit lane.
Bit of an early stop for him. I think he'll definitely still make it to the...
And Tate Lytle down into turn number 1. Grunberg still chasing him down. Grunberg has been eating into that lead, but it's still over a half a second, so it's not like it's a small lead, but it has been closing slowly.
What I'm more curious about too is if, even if he catches up to Lytle the way it is right now, will he have enough tires to really work around the 56? Because I think that because Lytle's shown that he's pretty good at defending, he's done a fantastic job so far tonight at keeping that position. Hasn't really much opposition.
Well, Kevin Finn is on a mission right now. Just got around Tanner Sharper, and he's working on Sam Close right now to put himself into 3rd. And tight out of turn 2. And I think at this point, if you're Kevin Finn, would you start? I mean, it's not really Kevin Finn's personality, but maybe just start using people up a little bit. I mean, we're running out of time, and it doesn't really need to. It gets right on through. And how about David Wilson, our pole sitter on the night, covering here? And here comes pit stop. So Sam Close comes on down. I saw Tanner Sharp peel off the lap prior. Giadricic, I think, is also coming down. Yes, he is, as is Matt Grunberg, who did beat that number 56 to pit road. So I think Tate Lytle has to respond. We'll see if he will. Yep.
Coming down.
And so he should only lose about a second, maybe a second and a half.
That might be enough for Grunberg to overtake. We'll see how it lines up. It's going to be close between those two.
54 is back out on the racetrack, or he's leading pit road, and his stop sequence wasn't super fast, though. Fitting a 15.0 is not a quick stop.
Yeah, that was actually one of the slower stops out of the guys that pit already on the sequence. We'll see if Lytle can get a decent pit stop. At least he can have a second faster. You should be able to keep out ahead of Grunberg, so we'll watch now.
All right, so Lytle in on the right sides. And in green flag conditions with 50 to go, you're taking 4. I don't really care who you are. When you get down to 20, maybe 30 to go, and the caution comes out, maybe you could consider 2. But green flag now, it's going to be a 15-second stop for him, too. So it's going to be close between these top 2. Where is the 54 Grunberg? Right around the outside. Looks like he's going to take that spot away around Tate Lytle and gap him by a pretty significant margin with 50 to go.
Yeah, we figured it was going to be about a second, the gap between them. And pretty much lining up to exactly that. So Lytle's got some work to do in the second half of this race.
Still about 22 minutes remaining. David Wilson, Kevin Finn on pit lane, and here comes Mike Stevens into his stall. So that's going to cycle out our previous leaders, Grunberg and Lytle. They're going to flip the script on him here with 50 to go and put that bright yellow Ford Fusion out front of the stealth gray 56 Toyota Camry.
Yeah, very quick pit stop sequence, I must add, too. Everyone came down within a few laps, and it's already sorted out.
Kevin Finn lost a bit of ground waiting a few laps for his stop, and he's going to have to re-get by the 3, the 5, the 18. He's working over Paul Ross right now.
Yeah, and they lost a lot of time. Both these guys, Sam Close 3 seconds up the road.
And all identical pit stops, 14.7s for all of those guys, and that's interesting. 15 flats for the top 2, then a 14.9 for Tanner Sharp, then 3 14.7s after that.
Consistently slow pit stops.
Well, they're not great, but not a whole lot you can do as a driver about that. And I'm sure it'd be loving to be blaming your pit crew at the end of the night instead of yourself. That's always the scapegoat there, but Paul Ross is able to hang on, and he'll keep that 5th spot from Kevin Finn at the moment. And for the top spot, that lead has stayed pretty steady the first couple laps at 0.8 of a second between the top 2.
Yeah, when Lillard's starting to reel in. So I think if Lytle can get up to Grunberg in time, I think he needs to get up to there quickly and then use the tires while they're fresh now to make a pass.
Justin Kolb and Liam Sheen were fighting briefly for 11th, but now Sheen's got that spot and now sets his sights on Brent Miller, who's a couple seconds up the road. That is his top 10 position, lurking up ahead. You look behind, Wade Lear, Chad Brown, and Brandon Kluser, Rusty Webb, all fighting.
Hickey in the wall.
Oh boy, this is Dylan Hickey as well, and Chad Brown had to jump on the brakes. Now he's under attack from Stevens, and down into turn number 1. That's the 94.
Oh,
Kluser was getting a boot from the one of Hickey.
There's a lot of cars on a lot of different speeds around each other.
That was the 88 of Webb that got into the back of him there. I have to correct myself.
Yeah, they're 3 wide here, oh boy.
Oh man. Got it sorted out.
And there's our leader in the middle there. Grunberg is trying to work. Probably caught these guys in the worst part right now when they're all trying to sort themselves out.
You see Lytle in the background. Where is he going to go? That's Acosta on the inside. He's going to slam on the brakes and let 56 get around, but I think it's going to hold up.
He's actually made up a few tenths over the course of this overall. So
where does 54 go? Watch these couple drivers in front of him. Webb to the inside of Kluster, who's they're all laying Hail Marys on each other, so you got to be careful that they're not going to slip up on corner exit and get you caught up in a mess.
Lytle gap 0.4 of a second right now. See Grunberg diving in underneath Stevens.
I'm sure inside
of
this
and
cockpit.
Lytle's going to get boxed up in there. Where is he going to go?
Doesn't have a whole lot of options. Oh, that's wrong camera. Doesn't have a whole lot of options. He's going to shoot to the outside of Stevens, and he's going to... Whoa, that's a close, tight battle there, but he'll get that spot, or at least he should. Stevens going to throttle up. I don't know why he was doing that, but Lytle's going to get on through.
I think Lytle probably not too happy with the 64.
Yeah, that was a pretty obvious attempt to stay in front of the 56, which at that point you're already a lap down, but he's still fighting with the 64. It's a fair game there.
Yeah, so pretty even for both of them through all that traffic there. Overall, Lytle still closing in.
I think he's the quickest car out here in clean air, but stuck behind the 54. We're going to really see how much that air affects those of this car.
And again, he really should use the tires while they're fresh to make this pass. When they start to wear out, it's going to be even harder to pass that 54.
We are running out of time.
Oh, and Grunberg got stuck on the inside of Webb. Couldn't get the run. Here comes Lytle. He's going to look to the inside. Maybe no. He's going to stay in behind the 54.
Yeah, he gained all that ground back in one corner as the 54 got hung up on the 88. But now Lytle's going to be constrained on exit here with the 88 to his outside. He can't track out. And look at the ground. He lost about 30 feet there on corner exit because he had to race the 88. Now he kind of pushes the 88 up out of the groove. He'll take that spot away, but he continues to close on the leader.
Yeah, that really helped him out there. Grunberg lost a lot of time, and that pretty much put Lytle back to his bumper. Still some lap traffic up ahead. I saw the 46 of Hanchop.
We've seen that instance can pop out of nowhere, so you have to keep your head on a swivel or as much as you can inside that Hans device, Finney, and anything can happen anywhere on the track. You got to keep your eyes peeled. 40 to go.
And moving out of the way, moving out of his battle.
Hanshaw really slow out of the turn 2 area.
I think he was just kind of letting that whole group on by. I think he's just trying to stay out of everyone's way at this moment, at this point in time.
Lytle just continues to chip away at that lead. I think it's going to take another slip up by Grunberg to be able to get by, though. We've seen passing be so difficult at the front of the field. And Lytle, it looks like he's making speed on the bottom of the racetrack, and you're sure as heck not going to pass somebody down there right now. So you're going to have to get really creative to steal this spot back.
Yeah, well, you get physical clunkers, though.
I don't think he's going to be afraid to.
Leaving a little bit of the apron there, too. Try to hook the rotate the car.
That's a much more common thing on the newer paved version of the racetrack. You don't see it quite so much on the older version, but now we see him try the outside lane, maybe try to late apex, and he's trying different lines. Look at the one he gets through turn 2 that time as the 54 gets held up by Corey Lindsay in the double zero on the back straight.
He's doing a great job. He's driving the wheels off his car right now.
And down to the inside in turn 3 to try to make up some more ground. Here he comes.
He's going to have a look.
He's side by side, but I don't think he's going to have enough of a run. He's going to have to try something different.
He's going to really have to set up the run here. What he's been pretty good at doing, he's been really good at setting up these passes.
These laps are quick, Finney, and we have 16 minutes to go, and we still have about 36 laps of racing left. That's how fast things change. Tate Lytle all over Grunberg. Can he do anything about the leader?
Going to try to look to the inside here. I don't think it's going to work. Grunberg's going to get a nice run off the corner.
He held pretty well there, though, did the 56. Not quite enough to stay alongside, but here he goes down into turn 1. He's going to send it pretty deep. And the last time he did that, remember, he made contact with the 14, so maybe Grunberg's got to be a little gun shy on the outside there, but Lytle putting the pressure on and working over the 54. The 56 is clearly faster. The question is, can he get around him on the inside lane?
Back off for the time being, try to recuperate and get back at it. But yeah, like you said, definitely that 56 is looking to be faster than Grunberg at the moment. But you know, I can't imagine if he, especially if he keeps prodding like that, he's going to be as fast for long.
Keep your tires cool, keep your head cooler. 15 minutes to go. You're quicker than him. You just got to take your time and not burn your stuff up trying to get around him. Sure, if we looked inside the right front of the tires, we wouldn't see any glow because that's Tate Lytle's right front. He is not working that car over too hard at all. He's being very methodical about this, and that's how you have to be. Completely different lines. Wow. Look at the run he got.
Made up a lot of ground there, but Grunberg's going to beat him on the exit.
All about slow in, fast out for the 54, and the 56 is just hoping he can send it in deep enough to clear him by the mid-corner, but it hasn't been enough so far. An incredible battle for the lead. We're coming up on 30 to go, 15 minutes left in this race. And more lap traffic to deal with. All up to 14th has been lapped down. We're going to make that 11 car Wade Lear, who is 14th. He is also a lap down, so only 13 cars on the lead lap. And that further strengthens your decision, Finian, when you come to pit road later if there's a late race caution to try something, because you're only going to lose about 12 to 13 spots at the max. Battle for third place. Sam Close, Tanner Sharp, close quarters in turns 1 and 2.
These guys are also going at it right now. And it's Close trying to get around Tanner Sharp, and he's going to do exactly that and get past the 3. Oh, and the leaders, too, they're also close together.
Yeah, that's about as far alongside as 56 has been out of turn 4. Look at him go to the high side in 1 and 2. Can he get there? That's a great move if he can just get that front end along the outside in turn 2, but not quite able to do it that time either.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's where he should be trying to look here. I just don't see it happening on the inside. Grunberg's way too strong on that outside lane. If he can try to force Grunberg to the outside, I think that's
caution.
That caution's out.
And who is it this time? I don't see anything immediate.
Thing froze for a second.
Oh, it's Johnny Thomas, I think. Oh.
Well, I saw someone damage to the inside. Chad Brown.
Oh, yep, here's our flip. This was a big one, everybody. Here's a look at it. And we've seen this a bunch of times tonight, but this is the second time it's caused a rollover right over the top and slips and slides across the racetrack into the fence and right across in front of fifth place Paul Ross and 6th place Kevin Finn, but that is not how you want to end your night.
Brought to you by Southwest Airlines.
And here is, you better hold on to your straps here, folks. This is gonna hurt. Oh man, that's disorienting. Oh man. Well, we've seen it a couple times tonight, and there is the flip.
Looking at our laters and looking at the speeds, looks like everyone's down on pit road. Pit stops are underway here.
Okay, does anyone try anything creative here, Finn? I think we will. This is the perfect time to try a 2-tire stop. I guarantee you, Tanner Sharp, doing that research earlier, I wonder if he'll try the same thing again.
It could be a big move. I'm curious though if he feels strong enough with that call, if he's going to be able to hold off the leaders.
He's taking 4. Gruenberg's back out.
Don't see
everyone
jumping him.
4, except for even David Wilson's taking 4. Everyone takes 4 tires. I'm really surprised by that.
I'm thinking these guys, I think they're feeling that with a 2-tire call, they would be able to hold off guys for a little bit, but I think over the long run they're just going to be shuffled on back.
If any.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Tate Lytle has wrestled the lead away from Gruenberg on this pit stop sequence, so a change for the lead, and Gruenberg is now going to have to start on the inside, and he's going to be under attack from Close and Tanner Sharp, and it was a big difference on the pit stop times. It was about half a second quicker for Tate Lytle in the pit lane area, and then another almost a full second.
No, that's included. The pit lane.
Oh, okay. Thank you for the correction. So it's about 0.6 of a second difference in their pit box time. So Gruenberg's crew awful slow, and that's what might lose him this race.
I was gonna say, he's gonna have to get some new pit crew. I know that's not possible, but yeah. I mean, the first stop under green flag, what was it? You know, that was relatively slow, didn't really hurt anyone, but yeah, Lytle's pit crew coming through there. And I mean, we talk about you can win and lose a race off of pit road, and I'm sure Grunberg's not gonna like that. The fact that he pretty much just lost a race there, pretty much due to RNG.
Oh, we're not done yet, but I mean, we have yet to see anyone on that inside lane on the restart do anything.
And even Grunberg too, we saw him struggle a little bit, got put back in third. He was able to get back into second place, but not been able to get around Lytle, so it's gonna be a close one.
See, I mean, as Grunberg around to chat, I think it would be a good time to talk to him if we could. And looks like he's down in one sim, so we'll pull him up to chat real quick. And I'm up here. Actually, never mind. Cancel that. Oh, we got one to green. That was a quick caution. I'm not sure why it was so quick, but it was. Scratch that. Tate Lytle assumes the outside lane, and that is going to seal the nail on the coffin for the 54 on the restart. Can Grunberg fight back on the inside lane? I wanted to talk to him and see what his strategy was for the restart, but the caution too quick here tonight. Coming back to 26 laps to go. That's about 11 minutes worth of racing. So with 11:24 here in the East Coast, if you're here at 11:35, you're going to witness the end of this thing. So stick around and watch.
Yeah, it's all come down to this between these two guys, really. I don't think anyone else has really got something. It's going to be between the 56 and the 54. Who's going to win it?
26 laps to go. 26 miles left in this 200-mile event. It's been Lytle's night to lose. He's got the lead here, coming back to the green flag. Grunberg has led in the later stages of this race after a clever pit stop shenaniganry, but he's going to have to wrestle it back, and not a great restart for the 54. Green flag back in the air, and he's going to get right up in front of the 3. He didn't lose second, but he didn't stay alongside the 56 either, as everyone scrambles down into turn number 1.
So everyone got a pretty solid restart. You see Grunberg trying to get back up there, close and sharp, now fighting for position. How about 3 wide there through the dog leg?
This is going to be tight here as the 14 launches his way down into turn 3. There's Johnny Thomas inside the top 10.
And how about Nathan Velez too?
Yeah, just like last night, charging from relatively deep in the field to make his way up towards the front. But out up front, it's all Tate Lytle. He led the most laps here tonight. He's got 25 left to win his first race of the season, but he's got to hang on from a charging Matt Grunberg.
I want to say it's really going to be on between these guys. I would argue that Lytle has been the faster of these two cars, but Grunberg, I imagine he's going to put everything on the line right now.
Look at this gaggle of 4 race cars. The 48, 14, the 83, and the 18. Oh, that's tight out of turn 4. They're all going to get themselves strung out.
Fight is on for a lot of these drivers. Sam Close up ahead, trying to get around Tanner Sharp, and again, gotta hand it to Tanner Sharp. That was a great call early in the race. Put himself in a fantastic spot. I don't think he'll be able to get the win here just off of pace, but solid third at the moment.
All right, can Grunberg do anything with Tate Lytle? They're on equal ground now, not a single lap separating their tires. This is equal as they've been all night long. We're coming up to 20 to go. Caution out again. Oh no, big pile up on the front straight. That's the 75 of Frank Sims. And the 24 of Carlos Acosta, and the 89 of Brent Miller, who was having a good night up until this point. He was running 10th prior to this incident. Well, let's see what happened. There's already a big, the 52 of Justin Kolb was involved as well. I think this is where it actually started. I think it started with the 89. Oh, he just got loose all on his own. The 52 is going to probably try to get underneath him here, and
oh, it hit the wall, and the whole back controls right there.
A stack up, and Frank Sims had nowhere to go. Coming up to 20 laps to go. We're going to jump to break real quick. We'll be back for the restart here. 20 to go at Phoenix. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Phoenix Raceway. Again, I had to restart the ticker before we get down to the end here so that we don't have any lag issues. I asked Nick about that issue, and he said he'd look into it, but it's related to either the spreadsheets that do the points or the dynamic images involved. So 20 laps to go is that correct? I believe it is. I think we're less than that. No, 20. No, that seems right to me. I think so. It'll update in just a couple laps, but Gruenberg almost came to pit road and decided against it. Now it's Tate Lytle still out front. He's led the most laps, has been the quickest car all night long, but Gruenberg had a pretty abysmal restart, but was able to keep pace with the 56, but that's not enough to win you the race, Finian. You have to go out there, you have to win the thing, and keeping pace with the leader ain't going to get you in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, also, again, he's going to be stuck on that inside line on the restart, so he's got to be careful, especially the guys behind him, particularly St. Louis. He's going to be starting in fourth, right in behind Lytle, so yeah, Gruenberg's going to be at a bit disadvantage yet again. So he's really going to have to try something and get creative, maybe even get physical with 56, otherwise I don't really see him winning this race at this point in time.
All right, so we should get one to green either this time or next time. I'm assuming this time with the way the cautions have been so short tonight. And yep, one to green here. I think 19 to go is correct. So we're going to line them back up. Lytle on the outside, Gruenberg on the inside. Then it's Tanner Sharp, Sam Close, David Wilson, and Nathan Velez, your top 6. How about Nathan Velez, by the way, in that number 48?
Yeah, he found himself in a great spot in the later part of this race. Has been kind of riding around 10th, 11th place for most of the night, but then suddenly found himself inside the top 5, and here he is, ready to fight here in these closing laps.
There is a look at your leaderboard. And in just a couple laps, we're going to see who lasts and is standing next to that number 1 at the end of the night. Right now, it's 56, 54, 3, 5, 39, your top 5. We're getting ready to re-rack them and restack them down into turn number 1. And we've seen the restarts be interesting, to say the least. Coming out of turn number 4, the pace car is going to pull off and turn the lead back over to Tate Lytle in the 56. That Toyota Camry, he's got another Toyota lined up behind him. Green flag flies, and we're getting down to the end of it here at Phoenix.
And another great start from Tate Lytle. Also a good start from Matt Gruenberg here. He might be able to keep the 5 of Sam Close at bay here.
Yeah, Close got a great run through 1 and 2, and now they're going to be side by side on the back straight. And Tate Lytle is going to use this opportunity to get away as far as he can for these last couple laps, and he shoots off into turn 3 already with a half-second lead. Behind them, the field stacks up, trying to get around each other. We got a slow car, Finian, more cars in the wall. Brent Miller way up the racetrack. Dave Hunt down on the inside.
Yeah, he got involved in an instant, but we still remain green up in the front. Gruenberg is going to be on the outside. Sam Close to the inside. Gruenberg is able to rock it around, but look how much time he lost.
He lost 0.8 of a second. Now look at Tanner Sharp and Sam Close leaning on each other on the back straightaway. 17 coming to 16 to go, and the field stacked up as they try to sort themselves out.
Was also up there as a new player, still fighting with these guys. The same guys have pretty much been fighting with each other all night long for position up here.
Yeah, there's been a clear division. This top 5 or 6 cars that have been the best all night, but now it's Gruenberg. He gained a couple tenths last time, Finian. It's 6 tenths as they come across the back straightaway, but down into turn 3, Lytle pulls that gap back out to 8 tenths yet again. So Lytle is looking pretty strong here in the closing laps.
Yeah, I mean, again, even if Gruenberg gets up there, I just find it very hard to believe that he'll find a way around Lytle. Lytle's been really good, especially on these shorter runs.
Sam Close into 5, all over Tanner Sharp for that 3rd spot. Everyone scrambling behind. Liam Sheen received some pretty severe damage in that latest accident, and that car's all torn up. Still running 12th at the moment. There's Paul Ross back to 8th. That's about as far down as he's been running all night. Behind Kevin Finn and David Wilson.
And how about Rusty Webb, too, up inside the top 10 and 9s, having a pretty solid day after pretty much running out of it and quite I think a few laps down at some point, too.
Yep. All right, Tate Lytle, Finian, he's looking in that mirror, and that 54 is getting a little bit bigger. The gap is down to 0.5 of a second. Do you think the 54 has anything for him, or is it... Oh, no! Caution again! And it's a spin in turn 4, and it looks like it's David Wilson in the 39.
Indeed it was, and this car actually was fairly unharmed. So.
Yeah, I think it was just a lone spin here, but he might have gotten some help to start. There's a look.
I'm surprised we didn't get some help.
No, just got in there too hot and got out from underneath them. Oof. And oh boy!
Wow.
Everyone did a great job missing this as he sat broadside of the racetrack. Okay, well, that changes a lot of things. Now what?
I think you definitely stay out. I don't think going down pit road is a good call at this point. You'll be put back quite a few spots.
I don't either, but I mean, if you're, I mean, how many cars in the lead lap? Oh, actually, you have quite a few.
Yeah,
after
there's
a
quite,
wave around,
there's quite a few, so...
Tanner Sharp taking a look. I don't think he's going to stick to it, though,
No.
and he won't.
You can see that everyone, a lot of guys behind are planning on staying out as well.
So we're going to come to green with about 10 to go.
Yeah, and again, this is not looking good for Gerber. I think Gerber really needed the run to go pretty much green
Yeah.
from 26 we had.
I think he would have gotten there, and just unless he moved him, I don't think he was going to win this race.
No.
But again,
He was closing there, but yeah, he cannot beat Lytle on those restarts.
the one opportunity he has to make this a pro instead of a con is to launch off this restart so well that he doesn't have to battle Tanner Sharp down into turn number 1. That's what hurt him. He had to battle Sam Close and Tanner Sharp there for a couple laps and set him running down the order and down the ticker there. So he's got to get right alongside that 56 and drive off into the corner right next to him and stay right behind him as they get to turn 3, and then he can keep that gap manageable. I think he lost too much ground on the restart last time, which hurt his progress.
It's comes around, we're going to get a restart with about laps to go, and yeah, I think it's looking less and less likely that Garumba is going to be able to get around Lytle.
Take a look at the conditions. It's cooled off a little bit since the beginning of the night. 83 in the air, 85 on the racetrack. It's been grippy out there, and we've seen people just drive off into the corner and get loose. I think it's just people just driving really hard and expecting that downforce to hang on, even when it won't necessarily hold you. We will get a restart with 9 to go, which will be under 4 minutes remaining.
It's going to be very quick run to the finish here, and really, if Gernberg's going to, I think, honestly, have to get really physical with the 56. There's no way he's going to just be able to work around, because we've seen guys have to work around each other for almost 10 laps, and we have less than that.
Oh, I do not want to be in this 54's position. I would love to be in the 56's position right now. You get a good restart, and you watch those two battle behind you, you're golden. And you got a trophy waiting for you in a little bit.
I honestly kind of wonder what's going on through Gernberg's head right now, and just kind of planning this, because I think he needs to nail his restart.
Well, I was going to talk to him this time, but I think it's too late. I'd rather just let him focus.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're going to get the 1 to green this time through, and we're going to re-rack him, restack him, and send him down into turn. That's my new favorite phrase, by the way. Restack him or re-rack him and restack him. I don't even know how to say it. There it is, 1 to green. Pace car lights are off. Sun is hidden behind quite a few clouds. It is a dark afternoon here at Phoenix. The running area looks like it needs a little bit of rain.
I would say so. It looks like it needs a few more things in general.
I don't even see any cacti in there.
Yeah.
The new track's got cacti. I like the new version better.
I gotta say though, in general, the old version of the track put on some pretty good racing so far. It's a lot better than I thought.
Let me tell you, maybe there's no cactus inside the racetrack right now, but if Tate Lytle loses this race, he'll be pretty prickly afterward. I don't think I'd want to be anywhere near him. So coming back to the restart, it'll be 9 laps to go. 5 minutes of racing remaining. It's the 56, 54, the 3, the 5, the 14. Your top 5 at the moment. Right, that's the 48. That's in 5th. 14 is in 6th. Coming out of turn 4, 9 laps through the green, or 9 laps to the checkered rather, and Tate Lytle takes them down. Green flag back in the air in Phoenix, 10 to go.
And again, 56 off into turn 1 by himself.
Yeah,
Gernberg, and looks exactly like the last restart.
He needed to get clear there, and he did not. Look at the 14, way up on the outside lane of the racetrack, trying to get around the 3 of Tanner Sharp. Was unable to do so, but Lytle sets his sails up front. 0.4 of a second lead already, and Grunberg's clear. He needed that now, but he's got to set his sights and go. He's out of time.
He drove it very hard in there to keep the head of Sam closed and did exactly that, so he checked that box off, but now he's got to close in on Lytle.
And he is praying for no yellows, and the way we've been going with the cautions, breeding the cautions, I don't know if that's unlikely. There's a spin almost in front of him. The whole field scrambling around Paul Ross as he gets loose out of turn 2.
Yeah, Ross and Klusner look like they were involved in something, but they were able to sort it out somehow.
We're not done yet, not out of the woods. We still got cars 2 and 3 wide down in turns 3 and 4.
Up towards the front, gap under half a second.
Whoa, the 83 sideways out of turn 4.
He's able to save it, but yeah, you can see these guys in a very big pack and easily have a wreck come out of here.
Everyone up front is praying that this stays green. Up, they're closing 0.3 of a second, but they're getting so close behind Finney, and I just don't know if we can make it to the end the way these guys are racing.
You see Johnny Thomas and Paul Ross fighting. Cole gets
Contact, the
into
83's
Thomas.
loose. Can he save it?
Wow, he dirt tracks
does.
it off the corner. He's going to save it and keep it going.
And 0.3 of a second separate the top two with 6 to go. Coming back to 5 this time through. Gruenberg is there, Finian.
Wow, Gruenberg has found another gear. He's really closing a lot more than I thought he was going to. Gap now around 0.2 of a second.
Tanner Sharp was all sorts of sideways coming out of turn 2, but for the lead, Finian. Here comes Gruenberg. They cannot count on this race going green to the end. If a caution comes out now, the race will be pretty much over. So now it's Gruenberg's opportunity to get around the 56. He's right on his bumper. He's going to have to lean on him to get this spot unless he can get to the outside, and that's been tricky to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, he has a little bit of time to try to pass him, but I think, you know, you got to do what you got to do. There he is looking to the inside. Lytle keeping him at bay.
He sent in the corner, but couldn't get alongside without contact. But now you have to think, Finian, if you look at the rear, if you look in your mirror and how much chaos is going back there, if you wait one lap too long, you're not going to have an opportunity. You have to make this move now. You cannot wait. One-tenth of a second separating these top two. It's Gruenberg versus Lytle, both of them going for their first win of the season. Gruenberg sends it in on the high side. Can he make up any ground up here? He loses through the first half of the corner. Can he gain it on the exit?
That gains a lot of time. He's got a good run on Lytle here. Is it enough to make a look?
Right on the bumper through turns 1 and 2. I see some sparks in the background, Finian. A car looks like they're spinning caution out. Race over, and Tate Lytle is going to go to victory lane. And a big crash on the front straightaway, and that is why I said that you cannot wait an extra lap. And more torn up race cars. And just a lap too long. It started, I think, with the 18 of Paul Ross. Oh, the 63 got in the fence, and a big impact there. And as the field gets collected, two cars. The 89 also got collected up the road, and big crash there. So that was what happened here. But let's head back down up to the front. Pace car gets collected with 2 to go. There's your running order on the left-hand side of the screen. And as long as Lytle pulls on through for the final 2 miles of this race, he will be your winner.
You know, honestly, I think if he didn't win this race, I feel like he would have been robbed because he's absolutely dominated this race. I would love to get a figure of how many laps he's led because it's a lot.
Most of this race by a significant margin. Matt Gruenberg, he was there, Finian. He was so close. Had he leaned on him, and let's be fair to Tate Lytle here, Gruenberg probably shouldn't have leaned on him. Lytle had done nothing against Gruenberg for the entire night, so that was fair and clean racing there. But when you're coming this close, we knew it was going to get messy at the back there. I think Gruenberg was just hoping and praying that they would stay green and have the opportunity to get to the white flag. That was not the case. The white flag and the caution flag fly now. 1 mile left in this race. Tate Lytle, though, what a dominant performance tonight. Led most of the race, and just no one could get by him at all.
Again, this is an extremely dominant car here. He seemed to be the cream of the crop, other than really Gruenberg himself. But when it came down to both of them, I think every single time Lytle's had the faster car.
And a disappointing end of the night for Paul Ross. Looks like he'll be at least as far down as 20th. Not the way he wanted to end his night after starting off the season strong with a victory. Sam Close in 3rd. It's going to be a continuation of a good start to the season for him. And who else is up there? We talked about the 46 of Kyle Hanshaw. He's going to finish way down in 25th tonight. But out of turn 4, the checkered flag and the yellow flag waving at the start-finish line. Tate Lytle, for the first time this season in his number 56 Toyota Camry, he wins in Avondale, Arizona, and picks up his first win of the season.
Yep, and then you see it on the left there. Gruenberg second, Close in 3rd, Sharp and Finn rounding out your top 5 there, and some congratulatory bumps from Gruenberg.
And Liam Sheen gets his top 10, finishes 8th tonight with a torn-up 51. I'm sure he's thrilled about that one. Lytle getting congratulations left and right.
And also, just look how clean that car is, too. I think only
spotless.
Only a few bumps in the rear, but other than that, pretty much, and a lot of dirt on it, too, but looks pretty fine other than that.
I think race cars covered in confetti are the prettiest race cars, Finian. Hopefully the rain doesn't wash off. It's getting pretty dark out there in Phoenix. He's going to be thrilled when we talk to him tonight. Comes back to the start-finish line. And victorious for the first time this season. Burnouts for the 56, Tate Lytle in victory lane. Nate Lytle will take his number 56 Toyota to victory lane. We'll talk to him and a couple others in a few moments, but let's take a look at our race results. Finney and Gruenberg, too close for this one. 54 in second place. Close, a good result. We mentioned Tanner Sharp, Kevin Finn, Velez. How about Rusty Webb with a top 10 and seventh? Kluser, who also fights back, and Dave Hunt, a top 10 to start the season.
Yeah, that order really changed around a lot. And they see Wilson, Thomas, Miller, and Ross, who were running inside the top 10. They all fell out in the closing laps of that race.
Paul Ross disappointed probably with that result there. Chad Frankenfield also a disastrous result for him, as well as Levi Zielinski, whose night just slipped away slowly after that incident on the back straightaway. Kyle Hanshaw is going to take a big hit in the points after coming in second. He finishes 25th. Chuck Sweeting dead last in 34th after that early collision. Samasso, same thing. Austin Derbyshire, Stephen Kettman, all down 31st through 34th. Not great nights for any of them. So there is your results. We're going to be back in just a minute with interviews. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to SimTV here now with third place finisher Sam Close driving the number 5 3OG Toyota Camry. Sam, a good night for you, a top 3 finish again. It's been a pretty decent start to the season, but kind of a wild night battling with Matt, Tate, Tanner, and Kevin. Walk us through your evening.
Yeah, good. I'm happy with the top 5. The top 2 were too fast for me. I ran into a little bit of trouble just trying to push too hard and would end up overheating the right front. And it was kind of tough to make a pass down on the bottom. You got to put a lot of wheel into it and then kind of hope that it sticked and didn't, push up too far. But all in all, the outside line was great on the restarts. The inside line, you didn't want to be there. So getting that outside line on that last start got me to 3rd position. But good night.
As we head to Chicagoland next week, we came off a 1.5 mile racetrack last week at Las Vegas. How do you feel like the package is going to work out there after seeing it at a couple different racetracks?
I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not a big fan of the package. I think it just kind of, it takes away from the tracks a little bit. Vegas is usually one of my good tracks and I struggled there a little bit and, everybody's all packed up. So whenever something happens, it wipes out a huge portion of the field. So just trying to figure out how to approach these longer racetracks, I think is what I need to concentrate on and figure out exactly what my racecraft needs to be for that style of racing.
All right, Sam. Well, a solid 3rd place finish for the 5 3OG racing car tonight. Thanks for chatting with us. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.
Next, it's going to be Matt Gruenberg in the booth, and Matt Gruenberg gave it a valiant effort there in the closing laps, but just couldn't quite get there in time. Had the race gone green to the end, I think he would have had one more good shot out on Matt, but disappointed or thrilled with a 2nd place result after tonight?
A little of both. I definitely thought we had, a race-winning car there at the end. But first off, I want to thank the One Sim guys, Leggett and Platt on the car this week, and thank my pit crew for, losing there on that final pit stop. But, all in all, it was probably my fault to begin with, losing the lead on pit road. I hit the wall in qualifying, so we kind of got a bad pit selection. So it is what it is, but we clawed our way up all throughout the race, and we ended up with a pretty good finish, so we'll take it this week.
In terms of the tire fall-off, it didn't seem like tonight it was as severe as we've seen in the past. Did that influence the pit stop decision earlier in the evening to undercut the 56, or was that just the plan all along?
Oh, I definitely planned on undercutting the 56. It was just so hard to pass on the inside. So I figured the only way I would be able to get past him was to short pit and then get around him and then just hold the high lane the rest of the way. And he would have a really tough time getting by me at that point. So, but the caution came out and that just threw everything out the window. So.
All right, Matt. Well, I know you're a bit disappointed, but a second place still a great result for you, and should be a pretty good jump in the point standings. Thanks for chatting with us. We'll see you next week at Chicago.
Yep, thanks for having me. See you then.
Last and certainly not least, it's going to be the winner of tonight's race, the driver of the number 56 Toyota Camry, Tate Lytle. Tate, you dominated tonight, but it wasn't easy for sure. You had to fight off a charging Matt Grunberg at several stages throughout the race. Walk us through your night, and congratulations.
Hey, thanks, guys. Yeah, he was... After that green flag stop there, I was pretty concerned because I remember last year at this track, I led a good portion of the laps too and got out-dueled on pit strategy at the end by Paul. And then I was having flashbacks to that with about 50 to go. And I knew I was faster than him. It was just so tough to pass on the bottom, and I knew I was never going to get the top lane from him. But yeah, after last night's internet woes, this one feels pretty good.
I talked to Matt about the tire fall off. It didn't seem like it was so severe tonight. How much did that impact your driving and your pit stop cycle strategy in terms of, I mean, we only really saw about a second and a half of fall off throughout about a 60 lap run. So how much did that really impact your race tonight?
I would save it pretty much the whole time. I would try to, first 10 or 15 laps of a run, I'd try to just maintain, and then toward lap 20 or 25, I'd just start slowly gapping them. So I was just trying to save my stuff, and I could tell that they were trying to burn it off because it was just so hard to pass that even if they got underneath me, it was, I mean, it's, as long as they don't get into me, it's pretty easy to hold them off with the pack.
Tate, it's your first win of the season. Hopefully there's many more to come, but a great effort tonight. We'll see you next week at Chicago. Congratulations on the victory, and go ahead and celebrate.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks to Hanshaw for a good-looking vehicle there.
All right, have a great night. We'll see you later, Tate.
See you guys.
That'll do it for interviews tonight, Finney. Kind of a wild one in more ways than one, but a new winner this season. The 56 of Tate Lytle. Grunberg just misses it. Tanner Sharp managed to sneak inside the top 5 after he got himself up there with some strategy. We also want to talk about Carlos Acosta. Finished 22nd after battling with a pretty much destroyed race car after about 50 laps in. As well as Liam Sheen, we mentioned he pulled off an 8th, missing his front bumper. So a lot of drivers persevering there. But all in all, congratulations, Tate Lytle. It was a good race tonight.
Yeah, again, great race really between him and Grunberg, and a lot of those guys in the top 5. They were going at it all night long. And yeah, put out some really good racing, a lot of green flag racing towards the later half of that race too. So yeah, just fantastic stuff from you guys, and looking forward to the next race at Chicagoland. Tomorrow it's going to be Fuel Host Venom final series action from the Charlotte Roval. That racetrack is 17 corners of chaos. It'll be 9:00 p.m. tomorrow night. It's race 2 of the Fuel Finals. We eliminate another one, and there is some other drama we have to bring you to light about after last week's chaotic run at Rockingham Speedway. That's tomorrow. Wednesday we're off. Thursday is Scars Ferrari Challenge, and then Friday is VRL. Saturday is ORL. That's what's coming up the next week. And I guess we'll see you at Chicago next week for 3 Wide RaceKings Cup Series action. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.